held you up a little bit over here. That was nice of it.
The problem is he's so fast on the straight and slow on the corner. But I guess that's a practical.
Yep. How's the car feel with the lower tire pressure?
Feels better on the low speed, but not as good on the high speed.
Okay, so we'll leave them where they are then.
Yeah.
Just leave them where they are.
Although, the only thing I'm curious, is there a pressure difference between left and right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, whatever All right, guys. Sorry. I've been busy. I'm running a little behind, like 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, something like that. Welcome to the show. Sorry you guys had to wait. I had a thing going on tonight, ran a little long, still had to get some dinner, just normal stuff, guys. Really sorry. Really sorry. Welcome to all of the regulars who are stumbling in on their Friday nights. And I hope we get some new people in, but we will see. I'm glad to see that Anson Knowles decided to write what possibly was the longest stream of jargon ever on this stream, at least. So we're going to get into this. We're going to get into the show tonight. I do not have a guest. I don't know who's going to be here. It may just be me and the 5 or 10 people that are hanging out right now, and that's okay because it's still going to be a great show. It'll be cool. You just don't know what you're in for right now. But we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Let's first of all, let's go ahead and recognize. There's a collection of quotes from his favorite comedian. All right. Solid work. All right. Let's go ahead and recognize, obviously, Anson Knowles, first in the chat tonight. Literally a wall of text. Silvar Ogre is here, and he says, do not forget to like the stream. Yes, please do hit that like. It is the most important metric on YouTube, although an argument can be made that who knows if any of them are actually important. 13 is in the house. They and he wants us to know that there is a low sodium spam. Yeah. Mikey Balls is in the chat. He is here, and so is Chip and Flint. Vengeful Truther up in the house. Kyle Amit, he's new here from OTF. What's OTF, Kyle? Kyle from OTF. Help me out with that. I probably am just not making the connection. And I'm sure there are other people out there that just are remaining nameless. Welcome to you as well. Stephen Akari. Am I saying that right, Stephen? Is it Akari? Is it Acre? How do I say that? I'm not really sure. Anson Knowles, if you would like to come up on the panel, the mods have the link. They'll drop it in your you just DM up or just post up in the shed, and they'll get that to you. It'll be great. Akri, Stephen Akri, I will not forget. Man, what a couple of days it has been. Started off last night. Well, I obviously started off yesterday. I did the daytime show. Orange Theory. Hey, Kyle. Awesome. We were talking, Kyle. How are you, sir? I was actually just about to say I went and worked out tonight. That's one of the reasons I was late. It took a little bit longer to get out of there than I had planned for, and I still needed to grab a bite to eat, which I didn't eat very much, but that's okay. It's going to be a great night, guys. It's going to be a really good show. For those of you who saw the show yesterday, the daytime show, it was a really pretty good show. And at the end of the day, we really had a great time. And then after that, I wasn't going to stream anymore yesterday. I was done, and I decided to go and do a couple of debates. Now, you guys know that I love to debate. I love to crush worldviews. And Bumpkin, I don't know if he's going to show up. Pax Americana, otherwise known as Bumpkin. I believe he is a Christian nationalist. I could be wrong about that. Bumpkin had a debate panel last night, so I crashed that and crushed some hopes and dreams. And then I went on to the Raging Tomato. Sarah might actually be in the chat. You never know where Sarah is, but she might be out there. So I went to Sarah's channel, again, really great debate topics around red pill. And it was interesting. We had some very dedicated leftist, some very dedicated feminist, and it was very comforting to be able to kind of destroy their worldviews a little bit. Not much. I was being very kind last night. It was great. It's really great. Really, really did well. We had actually had a really good show planned for today. Unfortunately, my guest doesn't look like they're going to make it. That's okay. What's up, TR Finley? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. It looks like tonight might be a little light. I know that Andrew was on earlier, and he had a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you guys saw the Piers Morgan thing. We're going to talk about that. I'm not going to bother to post any of the show. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, start to finish. It's great. He had saying from the Young Turks on there, and he called him out for his flip-flopping back and forth between the left and the right, and how he's currently pandering to the right. He's hanging out over at Turning Point, TPUSA. He's trying to do anything he can to kind of fit in again. But it's really strange that somebody who literally has said some very, very leftist things now wants is now kind of pandering to the right. I don't know. It's not for me to decide. So there we go. Chip and Flint, I see you out there, sir. I see you. Yeah. We'll wait for Anson Knowles to get up here, then we'll continue on with the show. I'm not sure Michelle's going to make it in tonight. I have not seen her online. She's also helping me line up guests. But we'll see where this goes. I caught a few minutes of the debate between Teriak and the Machine Lies. I'm starting to kind of give up on these on a lot of the debaters in the debate sphere, because they're really terrible at it, and they think they're great. Let me hit you, Anson Knowles. Let me get you that link, buddy. I probably have it right here. That is not it. Stand by. I got you, bro. I hope everybody else has had a great day. It honestly has been just a tremendously cool day. I can't even tell you. I did. Kyle, who was posting earlier, my wife and I went to work out at Orange Theory, which is a new exercise area, and he was a very helpful young man. He very seems very nice. It's not really my scene, obviously. I'm more of a I work out in a different way, but and obviously I still need to work out, and but it actually was a really good workout. My lower back started hurting, but that was okay. It's not that they're not the highest quality. It's just there's so many people trying to get into it, and they're not doing it well. It's just terrible. And and you have, unfortunately, what the biggest problem that you have, my opinion, my observation, it's not an opinion, it's an observation. My observation, the biggest problem that we have with the debate guys in the YouTube sphere currently is they don't really they're just basically arguing to argue. They barely understand how to form a position. They don't understand how to defend that position. They just it's like watching a little kid flail around. All right, tell me if you guys have ever seen this one. Have you ever seen a little kid? And by a little kid, I mean like 13, 14, and they say they know karate, and they start trying to fight, and they're just flailing around like all kinds of bullshit. That is what YouTube debate currently is, on a lot of levels. It's just, it's like, and here's a sad part, right? This is the sad part. You have guys that listen to Andrew, they'll listen to Destiny, they'll get Destiny's playbook out. They will practice, they'll watch videos, and they kind of copy what they see. The problem is that when you copy, you don't actually understand the theory behind it. You don't understand the mechanisms and the controls and why it all works, right? Like you don't understand what is which fallacy that you're perpetrating, and whether or not it's okay to have that fallacy. Welcome back, Mikey Balls. Good to see you, sir. It's going to be a great show. Really is going to be a great show. I don't know if Kyle wandered on, but the guy from Orange Theory was nice. Be nice to him in the chat, guys. I know we were low on viewers tonight. I don't know what's going on. Is there something big going on that I don't know about? Am I competing? Am I competing right now? Oh no. Oh noes. Yeah, it's been an interesting 24 hours. So anyway, went and I did the debates. Hey, Carney's Ride. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. It does take people a while to get in here. I will give you that. Let's see. Jim Bob's on, I think he's going to do a panel tonight. Teriak versus Machine Lies is still going, I think. Although I don't know why. Rob Noor is on, but he's not pulling a ton of people. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a slow night for me. Yeah, Mikey Balls. Yeah, but that's a terrible debate. The Machine Lies is not a good debater. He just basically rambles on and says a bunch of fallacious stuff, and then talks over you. So where's Anson Knowles? Where the hell? Oh, there's Anson Knowles right there. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Hey, man, it's good to see you. How you doing?
Man, it has been a while. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I had to catch up on my vampire manga. I spent a month reading a whole bunch of teenage science fiction. So
well, that seems like something that is not up your alley, but okay, I guess I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'm not making that up at all either. I wouldn't do that.
You went down the vampire manga. What do you call it? Rabbit hole.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's working because you kind of look vampirish in that. The way your camera's set up again.
Yeah. Well, I try. Oh, and all those quotes are from Norm Macdonald. He's the greatest comedic.
Funny.
The greatest comedic author of the late 20th, early 21st century. So,
well, I think I'm probably the only person here that's heard of Norm Macdonald. So, us old people, man. Us old people.
Yeah. Some of the young people have heard about him. He was in a cartoon in the 20-teens with Mike Tyson.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting. It's been interesting, man. I've kind of missed having you on. You're a very good guest. And did you by any chance get a chance to watch Andrew on Piers Morgan today?
No, I hadn't been watching any political news at all. I stopped doing political news because I've been so enthralled with my vampire manga.
Mm. Well, see, I can't talk to you about vampire manga because I don't know anything about vampire manga.
Yeah.
Except Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, you
Vampire
gotta
Princess Miyu.
you gotta eat more soy so your estrogen balance is out, so you can enjoy it properly.
Yeah, I don't have nearly the estrogen level for that. So.
Yeah. No, I hadn't seen Piers, and so Andrew's on Piers Morgan again.
Yeah, it's his second appearance, I think, and
Yeah.
he was debating the guy from the Young Turks, Sank something or the other. I don't know what his
Sank Yeager. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And Sank, I think his soy count's right where it needs to be, because he was he was really unhappy with Andrew a couple of times. Andrew called him out on literally all of his nonsense. He got crushed by Andrew. It was very funny because Sank's only real defense was, "I've never heard of you. Why do you matter?" Like, this is only defense the whole time was just like, "I have so many million viewers, blah 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 blah." And Andrew's in the meantime, Andrew's calling him on how that Sank was okay with Black Lives Matters, burning down Washington, half of Washington, and breaking windows and assaulting federal officers and Secret Service agents. He was fine with that, but he's all bent out of shape about the J6ers. He had a bunch of interesting things to say about a lot of interesting things, and Andrew called him on each and every one. And there's some really good clips that were to be had there. Ghost 1978, by the way, actually sent me some of those clips, and it was epic. It was great. It was wonderful. Very, very good. It was very, very good. Yeah. Sank's position is that he considers himself a populist. Mr. Thank you for pointing that out. He does consider himself a right-wing populist because he says that there can't be a left-wing populist, but that dude leans so far left, and he's damn near.
He's been a crazy leftist for decades. He was on that.
Right, yeah.
What was that network Al Gore started 20 years ago? Yeah, that guy's a super leftist socialist. He's a whack job.
Well, Andrew obviously shows up prepared, right? Like you're not getting Andrew. You don't catch Andrew unawares. Andrew showed up. He was loaded. He was ready, and he let Sank have it. He called him on everything. He called him on literally everything that. Sank was, he made some very stupid claims. The really interesting thing is Piers Morgan was agreeing with Andrew like 90% of the time, which was really cool. So that was quite interesting. And it was really great. I had a great time watching it. It's
well, Piers Morgan's a lefty too. He's just
I don't know if you've been watching Piers lately. Piers is like at worst he's a classic liberal, and at best the best possible thing I can say about him is he's very much a right-leaning centrist most of the time. He even called Destiny on his bullshit.
I don't know. I remember him back when he used to be in the States.
I do too, and I hated that son of a bitch. But I will give him credit for. I will give him a lot of credit for kind of not necessarily changing his tune, but kind of getting a little educated. Right? Yeah, that's right. Wrongful Rage comes in without even having to send in a super chat. I see you, bro. Morgan's been flip-flopping since he was called out on his denial of the Armenian incident with the Young Turks. Is that Sank or Piers Morgan? It might have been Piers Morgan, but it doesn't matter. Morgan's biggest problem was he wrote all of that bullshit about the AR-15 and gun control and all of that, and he got called on the carpet hard. I mean, absolutely, like that. He got destroyed. He almost basically had to flee to. Hey, yeah, Sank. Thank you. I thought that was when I read that, I was like, that's not Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan got called on the gun control thing, and he got called on it so hard he left the country for a while. You remember he fled back to the UK for about a year.
Yeah, and they had to he got run out of UK and went to Australia, right? Because he was making fun of the royal family too much.
I think you're right. And I think that probably somewhere along in there he had like that come to Jesus moment that we all have in life, where he's like, dude, I'm fucking myself here hardcore. And I think he kind of looked around and said, you know what? Maybe I'm fucking wrong. And I really started seeing that when in the Jordan Peterson interview.
Well, no, see, I think what's happening here is there's some confusion because all these lefties are looking more normal because the new generation of lefties are so damn crazy that the old lefties look normal compared to them. And that's what the problem is. These Sink Yeagers and Piers Morgan and even Jordan Peterson's got some lefty tendencies where he supports homosexuality. You know, all these people. No, Jordan Peterson.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about people that 30 years ago would have been called leftists.
Right. They're centrist at best, right?
Yeah. And so all these people look more normal now because the new generation of lefties are so damn crazy. And they're not any better than they were. They're not any better than they were. They're still a bunch of wacko lefties that need to be defeated.
Sure. Yeah, I 100%. I that definitely that is a that's true. I guess from my point of view, my perspective, if you will, as near as I can tell, there's no there's none of these guys in the press. Even Morgan is as close to middle as he is now. He's still to the left of where I think he ought to be. Right?
Yeah.
Mr. says word in the underground is PBD has some skeletons in the closet. They're going to come after him soon. I'm positive Patrick Bet-David has a shit ton of skeletons. Like, you don't talk like that dude talks without having some skeletons. Wrongful Rage, you're right. The Young Turks, it doesn't flow off the tongue like I think he thinks it does. To me anyway. So I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. But anyway, let's. Morgan debated Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro on guns aftermath. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he got defeated, and he was put in such a bad light. We just talked about Stephen Akari, that he fled back to England. Like he did. Like he had to leave the country. So I mean, he didn't have to leave, I guess, but so the Young Turks is a very interesting organization because a lot of right-leaning people actually belong to the Young Turks. So to me, it's one of those organizations that is disingenuous in its aims, because on the one hand they seem to condemn leftist and they seem to condemn extreme rightist. But most of the time they lean very, very left, and I just don't like it. I just don't like those guys. So that was cool today to watch, and then of course all of the Destiny stuff. Have you been following that at all?
No, man. Unless he's writing vampire manga, I'm not really interested in Destiny.
All right.
So
yeah, I can't really talk to you about vampire manga. I want to talk. Let's talk politics and theory and stuff, man.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's get back into where you belong.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that then.
Yeah. How's the first of all, how are you living, man? Is everything good? Work good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing my job and getting raises and buying
Dang,
houses and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in terms of what I'm
nice.
supposed to do. But it's all boring and stuff.
VIY must have been on CT today I got called out today. Anson Knowles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was over on Chaotic Truth, and I was just we were talking about. Have you heard this thing about Jennifer Aniston and Obama?
No, I hadn't been paying attention at all. But so Jennifer Aniston's boinking Obama. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, apparently they had a thing.
Yeah, well, good for him.
I'm not really sure that they've actually I'm not really sure that she's confirmed it or whatever, but I was over on Chaotic Truth today, and we were talking about that, and we were basically talking about how now this is coming from Chaotic Truth. I don't know if you've ever been over on his channel.
That's wild, man. That's a good channel right there.
It is very chaotic. It's right there in the name. He doesn't hide it. It's chaotic. And so Chaotic's position was that he finds it absolutely common and normal for black men to find white women attractive because white women are more feminine than black women.
Yeah, I've had black friends that I've talked to about this before, trying to figure out what it is, and black women that were dating exclusively, or white women that were dating exclusively black men. And from what I've been told by my black people that I know is that they date white women because they have less drama than black women do, because they're not as ghetto as the black women are. Basically, to quote my black friends, I didn't say that was somebody else.
That's excellent, because that is exactly the point that CT was making, was that if the worst thing is an educated black woman, because she will beat you about the head with that education, and there's any kind of certificate or whatever. The first thing that's going to happen is she's going to say something, and she'll bring it up in every conversation, every argument you have. Well, I have a master's degree, or I have, whatever. And so there's a guy, he's a regular there. He goes by OB32 or something. I don't know, whatever. And this dude he tries to act like he's a man's man, but this dude's a feminist, right? like cold, to the point. I'm telling you, he's a feminist. So I made the point that he was talking about how he wanted an educated woman, and he understood why women would put that out, would lean on that, And I'm like, well, I don't think men. First of all, I don't think men care, right? Like,
well, I do.
I mean,
it makes sense. Well, I see. I've been with stupid women, and I've been with smart women, and I can't stand the stupid women because you can't have a conversation with them.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that so. Anson, let's say I know you're in the dating pool. Are you still in the dating pool? Are you back with your ex, or how?
Well, I'm still hitting the ex up. Whenever I get whenever I get the feeling for
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, W's in the chat for Anson Knowles, because we all know she's sleeping with Anson Knowles' ex-wife.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, and whoever else wants to too, because I ain't got no commitment to it no more. I can do whatever I want.
That's a win. That's the most Alabama thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Mikey Balls lives down in Alabama, Huntsville area.
Yeah, he's in Coleman, I think. I think based on what he said, he's about 40 minutes from me.
Yeah. You guys ought to hang out. But yeah, Anson Knowles gets the win tonight. So I made the point that to men that are actual men, a woman talking about her degrees and all of this other stuff, like putting it just right out there, is it's not only irrelevant, but it could be kind of a turnoff, right? Like it doesn't impress men, you know. And OB's like, no, that's not true, blah blah blah, all this other stuff. And I'm like, and then he was saying something about women's preferences, and I said, well, okay, basically, here's the point: is that I don't care anything about a woman's ability to earn money. When I got married, I didn't, I obviously that was a bonus, but I was more interested in her being able to give me beautiful children, right? Like, and I think that most men, if they're honest about it, when they get to the marriage part, that's what they're interested in. And so it's weird to men for women to, and maybe a little off-putting for a woman to wear her degree on her sleeve and bring it up in conversation over and over and all of, just kind of browbeat you with it. And I said, and he's like, no, women do that to eliminate men that are beneath them. And I said, well, I don't believe that's true at all.
That's an inferiority thing. The women are trying to compensate because they feel like they have to shout, hey, look at me, I got this stuff right here. I'm special too. It's like the women that think that they're holier than you are, and they talk about God and how they're Jesus people. It's the same damn thing.
Right. And so what I said I said, hey, here's the thing. A woman that does that, if a woman's actually doing that to eliminate men who have less education than her or whatever, she's not looking for a man. She's looking for a sperm donor, and that's the end of it, right? Like she doesn't see you as a man. And he's like, well, that's not true. And I'm like, and he started arguing with me, and I said, well, there's a difference between man and male. And I said, you're a male because you obviously can't stand up to your woman the way that you should as a man. And, there's a difference, man, male, Mitch, whatever. So we kind of went round and around, and he started getting heated, and I don't know how it got brought up, but he did the wrong thing, Anson. He called me out and told me to go right then and put the camera on one of my airplanes. So I said, oh, really? You want me to? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, because he obviously thinks I can't do it. So I cammed down on stream. I didn't log off. I cammed down here in the studio, and I went into the garage and used my phone and walked around the garage and showed a video. I was like, see, there's an airplane. That's an airplane. That's an airplane engine. There's another airplane engine. And this is in my home garage. I didn't even have to go to the hangar or the warehouse, either one. And so the deal was that if I proved I had an airplane, that he had to cam up, because he's one of those nutless motherfuckers that won't cam up,
like
hides behind an avatar, like Imperious. Yeah. And so I called him like 8 different kinds of bitch and told him that he was and I just didn't have any use for him anymore. And he finally just left the stream because he's like, oh, I gotta go, whatever. And he's like, then he moved the goalpost, right? He's like, well, okay, he proved he's got an airplane, but he never, he doesn't do his. How do we know he's got any money? I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to throw a stack or two on the desk? I mean, it's like I told him, I'm like, can we bring those goalposts back down to earth? I'm not on the Starship Enterprise, motherfucker. Can we get those back into our solar system? And it was very funny, and it was great. It was very awesome. Mikey Balls has shown his face on camera quite often, actually.
6 days a week.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I do not. Why I mostly talk politics and finance on my daytime show is because Mikey does such a great job with the news.
He does, doesn't he, man? But he's not. What is it? He focuses on what his audience there in his chat has to say a whole lot too. He gets in that and shows all that, and he's really good at interacting with his people on his stream grid.
Yeah, he's got it down. I mean, no doubt at all that Mikey Balls, he has it. He has a good setup. If you guys are looking for to get your daily news in the morning, I highly suggest you check out Mikey Balls. I think it's Mike Ball TV or so. I forget what it. Somebody's Mikey. Spam your channel. You lay about.
Yeah, I feel like when I follow his daily channel, their daily stream, that I have a leg up in terms of news.
Yeah. So the thing about so Obi comes into the stream almost every day and talks crap from behind an avatar. And and look, hey, if that's cool, if you're going to talk crap and then just kind of take your lumps, Insane Wheels, that's Mikey's channel. Insane Wheels. If you need your news in the morning and you want actual solid interpretation, go see Mike. I can't do a better job than Mikey. Mikey does an awesome job, and he needs to be. You guys all need to watch him. If he had two legs to stand on, that'd be awesome. But he only has one. Don't feel bad for him. But
you got to make fun of him.
Yeah, you got to make fun of him.
Handicap jokes welcome.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I think maybe tomorrow night on my chill stream, I'm going to have Mike up. So don't get drunk tomorrow night, Mike. And we'll talk about, the accident, because he actually showed me pictures once of the accident that took his leg. Because when he first came in here, I thought he was a little strange. And he's like, yeah, I lost my leg. And he sent me pictures. He posted pictures of my Discord and some other stuff. I mean, he was quite, he's quite the dude. And I've come to really enjoy having Mikey around. So, absolutely do that. K2, I get it, man. You don't want to cam up if you're in your work uniform, but that wasn't really the point. Honestly, if OB had said, hey man, I can't cam up, I'm in my office, I'll do it. I promise I want to, I can't. I would have let it go. But he was just, he pushed me on, prove I have an airplane. And I did it at my house, like what a ridiculous, what was funny is I know what he thought was I was going to well, I'm at home. I don't have an airplane at home. And I'm like, no, I do. I actually have an airplane in my garage. So fuck off. And, but that was really funny. And so I get it, K2, if you can't cam up when you're at work or in your uniform or whatever, hey, look, that's totally cool. But if you're going to talk shit on the internet, you should probably be prepared to at some point get called out, especially if you do it from behind an avatar. It's just like that frog guy. Anson, have you seen my animation?
No, what's your animation? Is it a Furby? I know you like Furbies.
No, but I've got to get Tiki Tack to make me one for the Furby as well. I haven't yet, but I need to. Let me show you this, Anson. I want your opinion as a lover of comedy. What do you think about that?
Well, it looks like a frog that's also a bat. and since I'm into a vampire now, that's a vampire frog. And it looks like he's rolling around in blood. So that's pretty cool. So it's vampire manga-esque. That's good stuff.
So I do a debate panel on Monday nights called The Reverie. It's run by a guy that's been on Twitch poll forever. The
Prime Case?
Prime Kai. I think he said it's spelled K's, but he calls it Prime Kai. Whatever. So I've had it out a couple of times with this dude Doobie, and I smoke him into the dirt every time because he's a typical leftist. He always retreats into the same busted, tired ass arguments. Look, and I actually have respect for a leftist that can defend their position without resorting to Marx, basically telling us that we need to have Marxism or any of the other bullshit that they retreat to. Regular how do you say that? Degula, regular was in the chat when I fried OB today. That was funny. That was very, very hilarious. So I don't know, man. Anyway, so I actually have respect for leftists that can make a good argument, but the frogs' arguments are so bad. Regular, degular, got you. Yeah, that fellow was in the chat when I roasted OB today. That was very funny. So Doobie doesn't cam up, and he uses a stupid frog avatar, like the Furby does. And so I roasted the frog a couple weeks ago, and Tiki Tac, legend of Tiki Tac, made me this. Well, gotta hit play. Why is it not?
So is that what his frog avatar looks like?
Yeah, I got TTS coming in. Let's see if it triggers. It's been broken. The TTS is broken. Hang it. I got to fix it. I mean, when I tested it yesterday, it worked perfect, and then it just doesn't. It's not working right now for some reason. $9.99 comes in from Mikey Balls, adding to the grift. Also, very appreciative of your kind words. Hey, man, you deserve them. Yes, please. I forgot to grift tonight. I'm sorry. Michelle's going to be really mad at me. And I'm really sorry about that. Michelle, if you're in the chat, don't yell at me. So Wonder Dog says, YouTube censors everything I say about Doobie except for calling him a bum. Yeah. He's he's a special guy. He's special. And so we're just gonna boil Doobie for a little while. So anyway, Tiki Tac legend made this for me. Now the first time that I had it, I was incorporating it into my OBS, and I had it in the wrong position. It was actually, it was live, and I thought it was on my studio screen. I thought it was in the studio window and not the live window, but it was in the live window as Doobie came in, and you see him boil. The very first time I had it up, and that's awesome. You don't know what Flow State is streaming, but his title looks leftist. Is Flow State streaming? He could be streaming from Powdered Dusty. I don't know what that is. Oh shit! Jim Bob has the Thorpes up. It's not that I dislike the Thorpes. I just don't trust the Thorpes.
Well, they're clout chasers. They don't have any substance from what I've seen. They're very, very low in terms of their integrity.
Sure. It's a slow night for everyone. I mean, divisive content has Glenn has 12 people watching. Why is he live tonight? What's up with that? I'm going to go over and I'm going to razz him. Give me a second. Anyway, whoops, I had all caps. Anyway, so yeah, it was Doobie as a drag. Wait, is a drag as a drag?
Doobie, yeah. Now Doobie was the guy that you were rolling around in that water bong.
Yeah, he's the frog man.
Yeah, frog.
Doobie as a frog is an improvement. Yeah. So it's very interesting. It's I don't know. It's very funny. I don't know. I've just been Anson, you haven't seen me debating lately. I've embraced debating. At one point in time I was like, nah, I don't really want to get into it. It takes me to places, and you know,
Now you're just sort of letting it happen.
yeah, now I'm just sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like a woman after her third drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, not really. I'm just sort of like I just sort of embraced it. I'm okay with it. It's it's and the thing is I've been when we finish up here, I'll go over to verbal combat and I'll wreck. I usually limit myself to 2. I don't want to get too bloodthirsty. I limit myself to 2 kills and then I leave.
Well, that sounds like fun. How about after your stream, we'll both go over to verbal combat and I'll get kicked out really quick like I always do.
Yeah, that there's some bullshit going on over there, to be honest with you, I think. It's interesting.
That verbal combat is a lot of fun because the way it's set up, it's more of a popularity contest than it is like in terms of like what your skills are as a debater. And so I just like to pick like the first fight that I can pick and argue.
Yeah.
And then like I don't care if I could win or lose it. I just want to argue. It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying that this is the case, not that I couldn't care less, but the thing is that I've just decided that like this is the Continental. My show is the Continental. Everybody can come here. We can talk about stuff. We set up debates. Anything we want to do. Everybody, needs to be polite to each other. We have a good time. We chill out. We tell stories. You guys can drink your beers, whatever. But when I go to other people's channels, I wreck shit. Like I straight up destroy, man. Like it's not even funny anymore. The last time on verbal combat, I got who did I go against? Because I've been just sopping them up. I think I went after Teriak. No, the time before was Teriak and the dude, the only leftist that's cool from the Crucible. What's his name? What is his name?
You're not talking about
Corinth.
Scott
Corinth. Yeah, so Corinth. I got Corinth. I got Teriak. Last time I went on, I destroyed the nicest guy on the planet, Norwegian Dan. Super nice guy. Everybody's cool, but I had to destroy him. I had to. And actually, matter of fact, we were debating whether or not. So they tried to set me up, and I reversed the setup. So they wanted to argue the 19th Amendment. Should the 19th Amendment be repealed, and should women not be allowed to vote? I said, well, I don't care one way or the other whether women can vote, but I believe that each household should be one vote. And Dan's like, I don't agree with that. So I said, I laid a trap for him. So this is what I do, Anson. This is my technique. I'm gonna let you in on this. So what I do is I lay a trap where I pick an argument with you that I know really well. And I frame it in such a way that I know I'm going to beat you about the head with logic. And then when you take the bait, I whoop your ass. That's how that happens. So with Norwegian Dan, I got him to, instead of debating me on the 19th, which I don't really give a fuck about, I got him to debate him on whether each household should have, whether or not it should be one vote per household. Well, obviously, when you reduce that down, that is, if you're a single woman or a single man, you're a household. So therefore you get a vote. If you're a family, you get one vote. Yeah, that's a household. And you can't have 10 kids, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, living at home, all voting, but sucking up my tax dollars. And so, Norwegian Dan's like, well, how do you tell? I'm like, well, through your income tax, through your tax return. So if you don't file a tax return and you're not paying into the system, you don't get to vote. Right. And at the end of the argument, he actually agreed with me. He's like, I actually changed my mind. I agree with you. And so obviously I won. And then the second one was against James Life Talks.
Oh,
and
yeah, that guy.
That guy. I mean, it was over before it started. But again, I laid the trap for him because he had. I love VK Deadman. I just, I think it's funny. I laid the perfect trap for James because I know because we've been debating for the past few weeks that whether interventionism versus isolationism as far as the U.S. is concerned. I'm an isolationist. A lot of people are interventionist. I know that James has been interventionist, and matter of fact, he's beyond interventionist. He's like full on world police dude. So the none of that business doesn't count. Business isn't a household. But so we were obviously James did not really want to debate me. So every time there would be a topic brought up, he would just basically agree. He would say, "Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I'd share the view." And then he's like, the one thing that he didn't was he was like, "No." So we went to isolationism, and he's like, "Well, I'm isolationist except for immigrants. The country was built by immigrants, so therefore immigration should be I'm okay with immigration." So I'm like, okay, we can debate that. So now we go into the realm of, because I also knew that James is a world police guy. He believes that we ought be the world police, but he doesn't really understand what that means. So and he's okay with very specific immigrate. Well, he says very specific, but I theorize it in my mind that he was okay with any immigration, really, unless they were from Mexico. He did, anybody else is fine. So I set him up pretty good with the argument that, if we're going to talk about immigration, who do you allow in? Well, anybody who deserves to come in, right? Like whoever, maybe they're in trouble or whatever. So I'm like, okay, so refugees are okay. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. I'm like, okay. So if you have, Christian Armenians come in and they're okay. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What about Somali pirates that are Muslim and have "death to the U.S." tattooed on their backs? Are those guys okay? They're refugees, right? They're fleeing their country. Are they okay? Well, no. I'm like, well, but why not? Because they disagree with your Christian worldview, obviously. And I would literally reframe his exact argument to him, get him to say that he didn't agree with it, and then point out that it was the same argument that he had just agreed with, that it was his actual position. And I did it 3 times, and James was pretty he was pretty tied around the axle.
He didn't think through the consequences of his logic in terms of what his logic, because he's not that bright. I know who you're talking about He's a good guy. He's just
No, he's a great human being.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a
Yeah.
great human being. But it was really fun. It was really fun to do that, and then I left because usually just do 2 kills. So where are we on H-1B visa program? I'm fine with it. Whatever, as long as they come here legally.
I
we're
don't have a
good.
problem with immigration. H-1B visas are too restrictive. I don't think there should be any immigration laws.
Where do you so what do you think about what's going on with Trump and the deportations and the rounding up and arresting of people and all of that? Where are you at with that?
Well, with all that, I mean, we got laws, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
you might as
We
well
have laws
enforce-
on the book to regulate
Yeah,
that.
so if we have laws, that they need to be enforced, or else they're meaningless. And if people don't like the laws
W's in
that
the
are
chat for Anson, guys.
Yeah,
W's in the chat.
if people don't like the laws, then the damn Congress needs to do something about it instead of blaming it on the executive branch, because the
Yeah.
Congress likes to blame everybody
Oh,
else
shit.
when something goes wrong. They're a bunch
Anson
of
is
do nothing
back.
losers.
Anson straight back, coming in hot.
Yeah.
What we never got to finish this convo Monday morning. We did not actually. That's true. That is true, Mister. We did not get to finish that. Yes, I don't have a problem with the H-1B visa. The interesting thing is the people who refer to it as basically slavery, because their being here is tied to them agreeing to whatever wages you want to pay them. But historically, they've gotten paid the same as anybody else, and that's yeah. So Wonder Dog, I disagree with that point. If you can show me how that works out, if you want to come up and discuss that, that would be great. I would love to do that. But
I
just keep on trucking. Says I'm not going back to Haiti.
I think it's unnecessary paperwork for employers to have to go through to be able to bring in people that they want to hire. I don't think it's the government's job to tell them who they can and can't hire to do work. And that H-1B visa is just more damn regulation to make business more expensive and painful to do. If we just got rid of the welfare state, then people wouldn't come here looking for somebody else to pay for their crap for them, and it wouldn't matter if they came here to work.
I got to address this from Wonder Dog. So Wonder Dog, this is something that people often cite, right? If you're on an H-1B and you get fired, you're deported. Well, not necessarily. If you're here and your employer terminates your employment, you have a grace period there to find another job or leave the country. Right? And you're not talking about people who want to come here to live forever anyway. They're coming over here to do a job and then go back home. That's why it's an H-1B visa and not an immigration. That's two different things. I'll admit, I know some people that have been on H-1Bs and have had that very thing happen, where they've gotten fired and had to, or they quit. They were like, hey, I'm done. You didn't just show it to me, pal. You haven't shown me anything. The idea that just because you hold some power over somebody because you can fire them is literally every single employer on the planet. If Anson works for me and his entire livelihood depends on me paying him, I can fire him at any moment. I mean, isn't that the same thing, Anson?
No, I've never worked anywhere that I've been afraid to get fired from, so that wouldn't work with me.
You would leave, right?
Yeah, I would screw that. I'm gone. Yeah, you can't fire my ass.
How do you, Wonder Dog? Where are you coming up with this? None of that's true. That it's not a way of circumventing. None of that's true. I'm gonna have to go.
He's one of those protectionist Republicans who don't understand economics. He's saying it's bad to take people from other countries and have them work here because it takes away
You're
jobs
gonna
from
I
America.
gotta go let my dog in. My wife won't let the dog in, so the dog is banging on my door. You talk about H1B for a minute, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah. So I used to work in a dental lab making dentures, and I don't know. It was a relatively large operation. We had some engineers that came in from Germany, and they had to get hired through the visa process, and it was kind of a difficult process for a medium-sized employer to go through to do all the paperwork associated with the visa. And the people they ended up bringing in ended up not staying for very long anyway because they weren't really a good fit. So there was a whole lot of overhead waste associated with it. And whenever you have the government involved in any kind of employment regulation whatsoever, even if it's under the guise of making it, cheaper for them to or easier for them to find people to have people to fill jobs, just having the government involved at all with the visa makes it more cumbersome and costly to operate. That's why my position with that H-1B visa has always been get the hell the government out of the employment law entirely, including this damn visa shit. And if people want to work, they can work. What the hell? Why we got to regulate the shit? Anyway, sorry.
No, I think I pretty much agree with you. So my experience with H1B, now obviously this has been, when I talk about it, I'm talking about people in generically the financial sector, not and telecom, and that's pretty much all I can speak to. I really can't speak to pretty much anything else, right? Like I just don't know because I don't know. The last thing I heard was something about dental office. I don't know anything about dental office. I do know that I dated a Canadian girl once who was here on an H1B. Um, the and for her, she was a traveling nurse. First red flag. And the for her to work here, she had to have a document that proved that they had tried to hire, or they there wasn't an American that would American citizen that would fill that position. And this was a long time ago. This was in 2003, probably. And obviously, she was crazy because she was a traveling nurse. But she lived in the U.S. for quite a while, and it's she never. I mean, she was paid very well. She had all of the benefits. Actually, I think she had more benefits than the standard nurses that worked because as a traveling nurse, she was able to negotiate her contract pretty well. Arthur, I do agree that most H-1Bs go to engineers. So we're not talking about H-1B will get deported 99.9% of the time if they get let off the contract. And also because you can pay them 50% of what they're worth. That hasn't been what I've seen in practice. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. Nothing. I mean, I literally know people right now that are here on H-1Bs working in the financial sector, and they make the same or more than people doing the same job right next to it. Oh, right. Yeah. No, Flo thinks that, Flo and I had a really great discussion. That's not H-1B though. That is just immigration. And Flo and I had a great back and forth on it. Honestly, it was, and we ended up getting to some really, really good points overall, because it was basically. I agreed with Flo that migrant workers that are coming into the U.S. or already in the U.S. and they work in they work in like Kansas, Nebraska, wherever. picking fruit, doing farm work, whatever. Those I guess I work in California, Arizona, wherever. I don't fucking know. I'm not an agriculture guy. Yeah, flow has grown on me. I will that. Yeah, that's not H-1B. That's H-2C or something. It's H-2 something. That's a totally different visa. But no, we weren't talking about the visa thing. We were talking about that in theory, a lot of those people are illegal, and because they're able to be paid, basically because they don't pay income tax, they're untaxed. Employers don't pay all of this other stuff. Wonder Dog, I employ people too, pal. I mean, you're welcome to come up and defend your position. I'm just saying that I haven't seen what you've seen. Well, I don't know what business you're in. I don't know what you haven't really made a case other than I did it. I know what I'm talking about. You literally haven't told me anything except that you've done it. I believe that you've done it, but you didn't tell me what industry. You haven't told me anything, but you took advantage of a system. How did you take advantage of the system? Did you pay guys 50% of what they were worth? I'm the one giving the examples of, I know people in the financial sector right now. They work for Merrill, they work for Payne Weber, they work for HSB, whatever the fuck it is. And they get paid the same as the guy working next to them, or more in some cases, because of the way they negotiate the contracts. I'm just asking, what industry? Where? I could honestly believe that if you hired a guy in Michigan or fucking Alabama down there where Anson is, you could 100% pay people shit. I read what you said. You said you didn't pay them 401k, you didn't pay them PTO, and you didn't pay them. Hold on. That scrolled too fast. And you didn't pay them flexible savings account, healthcare. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, come on up, man. You don't have to come up. I don't care. I'm actually shocked that people. I'm usually should. It's not a feminine argument. You're the one being feminine right now. I'm literally asking you to prove your shit, and you're not wanting to prove your shit. This is the argument that people use all the time, is that, well, I did it. Well, okay, fine. What industry?
I think he's in the fudge packing industry, Grid.
That's not no. I read everything you wrote. You apparently are not listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth, Wonder Dog. Come on up. Tell me what industry you were in. Go at it, man. On day one, on January 20th, I read about that. The link's there, Mikey. Look, I just want to hear. I mean, what industry were you in? Chain link fence? I don't know. Were you? I mean, because this is the thing. Saying that you used H-1B and you're not telling me that because H-1B is a very specific subset for visas, very specific subset of jobs, highly skilled, technical. But also, I mean, I've abused employees too. I mean, to be honest with you, what? Hang on, stand by. I know I put that in there. Oh, there it is. Got to hit enter. Straight jacket 5150. You have H-1B? Seriously? Come on up. I want to hear your side.
I think he was making a joke. Right?
HIV. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more. That's actually more realistic in this audience, to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
I also hate being called old. I mean, I'm currently buying a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm buying like 3. I'm trying to buy 3 businesses, man. So trying to buy 3 business. I was only going to buy 1, but now we're buying. I think we're going to buy 3. We'll see. Maybe not.
I don't know. One of the first jobs I had when I was a teenager was working on an assembly line with a bunch of illegals, and I learned that that the employment laws weren't really followed by the big employers,
Mm-hmm.
and they really only apply to specific situations if the government wants to make them apply. It's kind of like a pick and choose who to enforce it on and when, just like
Sure.
all the other laws. So all these immigration arguments are kind of ridiculous to me because they're really talking about it's an academic conversation. Like the laws hadn't really been enforced for 4 years under Biden, and before that, they wouldn't let Trump really enforce the laws anyway.
Yeah.
So and even now they're going to block Trump from doing stuff. So it's all academic. It doesn't really matter.
So I
That's
guess
my
my
perspective.
thing with so like again, I know people that are on H-1B here from like China, and I don't know anyone here from India on H-1B. So that might be. I mean, that could be something, right? Like I know that the people I know that are from China, Taiwan, Korea.
Computer programmers come in from India with a H-1B. I've known some of those.
Sure, I could actually see those guys working for pennies, because to them it would be like a really big upgrade. But I just know people that are here and they're not doing. They do not work for 50% of what the Americans that they work next to.
Yeah, them Indian guys are awesome. They know a woman belongs in the kitchen, man. Those are some awesome people.
They believe in arranged marriages.
Yeah, they're based. They're not 100%, but they're better than a lot of the other ones.
When the USD is like a bazillion rupees, I'm rich. That's true. Wonder Dog, bro, you coming up, man? Did you leave? I think he left.
Yeah, we're too old for him to talk to us.
Well, yeah, it doesn't want to listen to us.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't like being lumped in with you being old because you're a hell of a lot older than I am. You're a totally different generation. It's insulting.
I mean, honestly, why would we not? Why would we? I mean, why would employers not? All right, so we'll look. This is my position on H-1B. I don't have a problem with it. I don't care. I see employment abuse in all kinds of industries. I know people who have never been paid any of their overtime. You know, they sue, and who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. All you got to do is just go look at any muffler shop, any small time mechanic. I promise you, the guys that work there are getting fucked over hardcore. It's just the nature of the beast. So, it is what it is. I don't know the H-1B thing. I'm trying to. I was gonna Google. I'm just I'm too lazy to be honest. I was gonna Google and see if I could find any reference to H-1B visa. Employer abuse that's not internet legend, some actual shit. But, um, you know, uh, I'm lazy. I'm not going to do it. Somebody else wants to do it. That's fine. So, All right, so let's so H-1B, I'm fine. I don't believe it's equivalent of slavery. Just ask any salaried employee that has to work 120 hours a week for 40 hours worth of pay, and you'll get your answer right fucking there. So let's not be disingenuous, fuckers. Let's try and keep some measure of clarity. Arthur Dye, you should get up here and run your mouth. You haven't been up here in a while. Besides, supporting H-1B is not feminist. If anything, that's manly shit, right?
How is immigration policy about highly skilled workers related to feminism in the slightest? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Look, none of the arguments that were given, none of the pushback that was given, pardon me, was accurate. So anyway, H-1B I don't give a shit about. I can't argue for it. I can't argue against it. I really just don't care. I don't know anyone that's been abused by an H-1B. I know many people personally that have been H-1B. Now, again, if we're talking about Indians, Steve from tech support can either learn to speak proper English or suck somebody's micro penis. That's all I got to say. Anyway, what else is new out there in the world? Because this is getting
graphic,
boring, actually. This is I was like on a roll. We were having fun, and now, fuck. Now I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm pretty upset. Why did that guy have to ruin the mood?
Well, he wouldn't have if he had brought his ass up here and talked like a man.
I know. When's Arthur Dyer going to come up here?
You know what I really hate, Anson? I really hate people because I actually have heard this in multiple places that shows like mine are echo chambers for people who just agree with me.
Yeah.
When I actually invite people all the time to come up here and prove me wrong, argue with me, make your point, make me look like, if you can do it, come up here and make me look like a fucking idiot. If you can do it. How did we bring micro penis into this? Well, it's India. I mean, we're talking about India. There we go. The show's back, baby. We're back. Holy fuck, my ball's going dark on us. Red dot on your head, homie. Either you work at 7-Eleven or you dead, cuz. It's funny. I get that, Joe. I get that. I don't even need to play Call of Duty and get that shit. So that's what's up. All right. Where we at here? Arthur Dyer, are you coming up or not? Gotta have some feminine energy up in this joint. And I think Michelle's over trolling Glenn's panel. So Alabamans. That's an interesting way of talking about men from Alabama. I believe it's Alabamian.
No, it's either one, actually. Both of them are applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like people who mispronounce Appalachian.
Appalachian.
Yeah, people like you mispronounce it. Yeah.
Appalachia.
Appalachian.
There's no N.
Appalachian?
Appalachia.
No, okay, yeah. It's Appalachia, but I'm Appalachian.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got to get work done before you go to bed. Well, first of all, going to bed is for losers. And I don't care about you getting work done. I care about my show.
She's got to work in my kitchen before she can go to bed.
Alabaman. What started 3 days ago? Oh, Rubio. Yeah.
Ugh.
All foreign aid, baby. All of it. Holy shit, my screen just went fucking nutso. The hell? What the hell?
Yeah, little Marco's gonna screw stuff up.
Yeah. Hope you can hope for the fight in the little guy.
Yeah, I think Trump picked him. I think Trump picked him because he would make the establishment people calm down a little bit, and he knew that Marco was kind of a tool that he could, push around the way he
Marco's
wanted
a
to.
tool, all right.
Yeah,
That was very well phrased, sir.
yeah.
Very
Well,
well.
he's weak though, and Trump knows he can push him around if he needs to.
Straight jacket 51. That's funny. I think you must have been here that night, Straight Jacket, when I told everyone that the first year that I did Pikes, I guess it was the second year that I did Pikes Peak, as running a car. We had this guy show up at the shop with 2 cars. One of them was kind of put together. We had to finish it out. The other one was literally in fucking boxes. It had the car sort of, and then the engine and the transmission over here and the turbo over there and all kinds of other little pieces of it just in fucking boxes. And these jackasses had just fucked this operation up so badly they lost a set of wheels somewhere between Texas and Colorado. Just fell off the fucking trailer. And it was great. Straight Jacket 5150, dude, you can interview me anytime, man. Just shoot me a DM. My DMs are open. I don't always answer though. Yeah, whatever. I ain't going back to Barstow, cuz. That's funny. I got that cultural reference, man. I got that cultural reference. Yeah. So anyway, Anson. Chip and Flint says, a la cousin. What is the cousin situation in Alabama? Is that a real thing?
Well, I mean, I think it's legal to boink your cousin here.
But not first cousins.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
Really?
Let me look. I've looked that up before.
You gotta look it up.
I've looked it up before because Andrew got into a debate one time about and incest came up, and I had to look up all the laws because Andrew was wrong.
Oh,
and I was causing trouble in the chat.
Oh,
because he said it wasn't legal or something, and then like it was legal. Like full incest is legal in a couple of states. We looked this up before and talked about it, Grid.
Well, it was Massachusetts or Maryland or some
Rhode Island
weird place that had like actual like
Rhode Island.
Was it Rhode Island? Where it's like dad daughter of legal age is cool.
As long as you're not married, it's fine.
Yeah. Nick, what's up over at Flow State, man? Oh, Flow State must be being told. Flow State, without me around, has probably gone completely degen. I got to rein that fucker in. So.
It's cousins are on the table. It's just all the other relatives aren't.
No,
brothers and sisters and uncles and nephews and nieces and half or whole blood aunts. That's all off the table. But cousins now. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So, what do you think about the idea that Putin wants Fauci? They want a prisoner exchange, Fauci for the world. What do you think about that, bro?
It's hilarious.
Isn't it fucking funny?
Yeah. Oh man, that's.
I got to be honest, man. I really hate to say it. I hate to say it out loud, but I really like Putin these days, man.
Yeah.
Like I can't hate the guy. I want to hate him. I want to be like, what a fucker, but
Well,
But
how bad has American politics gotten that a lifelong dictator of Russia is relatable to us?
mm.
How bad has it gotten here? That's what I see when I
Or
see
how
that.
good is it getting there?
No, it ain't that.
It ain't getting good there. I don't
It
know,
ain't.
because I got to be honest with you. I don't. I never even think about fucking Russia. The only thing I think about Russia is that, man, those fuckers are just fucked. Like not only just think about how bad it sucks to be Russian. First of all, you get the shortest summer on the fucking planet, but you get the longest fucking winter, right? And you sprinkle that with some communism, you know.
I don't know. I have a lot of how do I put it? I spend more time than a normal person does watching Russian state media.
That can't be good for you, bro. That cannot be good for your sanity, man.
Well,
Come on.
and I also read the Russian state news service Sputnik somewhat regularly. Just because I kind of want to
You read
know.
Russian?
No, it's the English language service. I don't read Russian.
Okay.
But I do it so I can see what I'm being lied to about from different angles. I follow some of the other nations' news too, because you can't know what America's lying to you about unless you read the news from other nations' perspectives.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I used
no,
to read the British papers, but they are literally nothing but propaganda these days.
yeah. Well, American papers are too. It's just we don't
Right,
see
but I
it.
expect that. But
Yeah.
it used to be that you could read like the Sun and some of the other British papers, and they were based like they were the real shit. But now it's like it's all fucking. I mean, it's literally propaganda. Like I honestly think the Crown has decided to just fuck over the media. So
Yeah, I don't know, but them Russians, man, they don't. I think they like freedom more than we do now.
yeah, that's true. That's
Uh,
true.
I think that
They've had just about enough of communism.
yeah, and I think they're more Christian than we are now in Russia.
Well, Russian Orthodox is one of the larger churches.
Yeah, yeah, but what I'm saying is things here are bad, man. Like it didn't used to be like this, you know. Um, the uh, the Russians are supposed to be behind us in terms of their social evolution, but they're not as behind us as they should be, um, and that's all damn liberals' fault.
Yeah,
Gotta. What are we gonna do about the liberals, Grid?
send them to Russia.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can we export? So let me see if I can get this straight. How many bottles of vodka per liberal? Because I can't think of anything else Russia has that we want. Maybe some diamonds. Maybe diamonds and vodka for liberals.
Yeah.
We can replenish their communist state. We can sell the vodka to Norway or somewhere that needs it.
Wouldn't it make more sense to send them something along with the liberals as like a consolation?
No, then they'll think they're getting a bad deal. No, 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 no,
Yeah, like
no.
I don't know. I mean, they could start up their gulags again, and we could just send them directly into the gulag.
Hmm. I see. Glenn's show tonight is about the sex dolls, the robots. That's stupid. Anyway, I can't get into it, man. Yeah, it's not even worth talking about. They got all that vodka to keep them warm. Spam cans of ammo. Yeah, can we get Russian ammo back? I would I actually need some 7.6239. I don't normally, because I don't normally use comblock guns, but got to keep one around.
Now, Mikey corrected me and said that I was wrong about the cousins.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to admit that I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never tried it out before. I'll put it that way. Maybe I should test the law a couple of times, see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. That's a good plan.
Yeah, I got plenty of cousins.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, I'm going to take this lull in the action to remind you that the grift must continue. I've we're working hard up here. This show is supported by my wallet alone, and got to get the grift going. The grift has fallen off, and we need to remedy that. So, give what you can. If you can't give any, that's okay. But if you like the show and want to support it, please feel free to send in a super chat, throw out some memberships or whatever you like to do. It's all good with me. Or don't do anything and just listen. That's still fine. Nobody's going to know but me. And maybe everybody else. I don't know. Anyway, Anson, it's been great having you up, man. I did actually intend to have a really nice, cool, esoteric argument, and then we got sidetracked by the H-1B, and then of course the guy that did not, who argued with us, and then did not didn't even come up to actually argue. Sad tidings. Eventual Truther sends in $10 Canadian. Flow State is saying illegal immigrants are a psyop, and it's all a lie, basically, and illegal immigrants are good for America. Go Grid, tell them. Look, guys, Flo and I talked about this the other night. I have seen the PR 57 that they've released at SHOT Show. If you live in California, it's great. If you live anywhere else, it's gay. So there you go. And Clover Tack will be back next week to tell us all about it. I'm positive. So, So look, here's the thing about illegal immigration. If all we're going to talk about are the low cost, taxless labor that the Midwest sees to pick fruit and corn and drive tractors and shit like that, then sure, that's fine. No, he really believes that, Arthur Dye. We had an entire conversation about it the other night. But when you start talking about the massive amounts of illegal immigrants that went to New York, Chicago, Denver, all of the West, all of the seaboard cities, if when we start talking about the truckloads, busloads of never-ending illegals coming into the country, and not from Mexico. These weren't workers from Central America. These were literally war criminals from other countries, Somali pirates, Haitians, Syrians, all of these people who hate America, that literally have death to America tattooed on their backs. We don't want those people here, and they're not good for the country, and they should not stay at all. So that's the real problem with immigration. Look, if migrant workers are great, they really are. They really are. We have an entire. That the Department of Agriculture has a migrant worker training center somewhere in the Midwest. I want to say it's in Kansas. It could be in Nebraska, but it's somewhere out there. And they take all those people that pick fruit and lettuce and shit like that, and take them in and train them how to handle the fruit or the vegetables and drive tractors and shit like that. become migrant farm workers, and off they go.
You know, I was wrong, Grid.
Yes, sir. You were?
Yeah, I was wrong. I said that this immigration stuff didn't have anything to do with feminism.
Yeah.
And it does. Actually, it's directly related.
How
Because,
is this? Please,
well,
please, sir.
yeah, so we're having a population collapse because all these women are not putting out and being in a family and settling down with a man and having children. And we
Yeah.
have to import all these workers because the damn women aren't having enough kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I feel like we wouldn't be having all this immigration trouble right now if the women were doing their job and pumping out 4 or 5 kids apiece instead of going to college and becoming fancy doctors and being anesthesiologists and working in hospitals.
Fancy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Illegal immigration is because of feminists. That's my new position.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay. But that I don't think that makes it a feminist position.
No, it's a negative consequence of feminism.
What do you think about no, it doesn't really work out.
Doesn't work out.
If Anson would get to work making more babies, we wouldn't have this issue. I think Anson's done his part.
I mean, if Arthur Daya wants to, offer herself up as
volunteering Arthur Daya?
Yeah, she can be my oven.
that did sound. When I think about it, that actually does sound really weird. Yeah, I agree. Proper asylum is a very tricky thing, and I think that Mr. Mister is right. Proper asylum claims, the laws have to be followed. And I don't know. Felicity is a conspiracy nutcase, by the way. I don't know. It's interesting stuff. Man, I need some degeneracy over here. Where's Michelle and John Mosman and all of the other normal, usual suspects? Even John Deadman is not talking. Normally, he's talking. So,
yeah, I don't know.
Well, whatever. Let's see. Grid, I would like to help out the population crisis and have kids, but I can't get past the first date. Yeah, we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah. You could use the Bill Cosby method for dating. Work on some jokes.
That's not what you meant at all.
What else would I have meant, Grid? I mean, he's a famous comedian. Women like a funny man. What else would I have been talking about, Grid?
Roofies.
Well, that's degenerate right there, Grid.
That is degenerate.
I was talking about having a sense of humor. Come on, man.
I have a sense of humor for sure. I do. All right. Well, this has gone a little sideways. Yeah. Okay. Do I get to wear the sweaters that Bill Cosby wore? I mean, hey, man, it worked for him. That's fun. See what you did? Do you see what you did, Anson?
Well, Arthur Daya's got some good advice there. There's got to be some nice ladies at the truck stop.
They're called lot lizards.
Yeah. I mean
that. And I'm older than dirt. Matter of fact, Dirt looks up to me like I'm his big brother. Name that movie for 10 years. 10 points, I guess he said. Wait. I never knew why they called them roofies. You always end up on the floor. I don't know. You got me. I don't know.
It's because of the name of the actual drug. It's rehypnol, and the way that it,
487.
yeah, rehypnol. Yeah, it just sounds like
Hypnol.
yeah. It just sounds like a
The
abbreviated version.
Hangover. I haven't seen that movie because I don't watch bad movies.
It's pretty good. The Hangover.
Yeah. Nobody wants a lot lizard. There's no need to get an STD and a bunch of penicillin shots, just to have a little fun. Better ways to do that. Black Doug, Mike Epps. Yeah, that's fine. Mr. Mister says he ran into a lot lizard in California in a motorized wheelchair. Her pimp was on a Segway. California is full of mutants. Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. He ran into a handy-capable lot lizard.
I was in Texas. We were running at Circuit of the Americas, and my normal truck was down, and so we had rented this cab chassis F550, and it didn't have backup cameras, didn't have any of the cool shit. So we were in a drive-through. It was me and one of my crew people, this girl, Grace, who was a crew person, and I forget who. There's somebody else with us, some dude, one of the guys. I can't remember who it was, and so we're just trying to decide what we're going to get for food, right? Like we're in a drive-through, and none of us want to agree, and then I realized that the sign posted the height. It was the truck wasn't going to fit, right? So I'm like, okay. So I started to just back out. I wanted to back up just a little bit to get around the car in front of me, and when I did that, wait. I'm sorry. I backed up. I pulled into a parking space. We decided we didn't want to eat there because nobody wanted to go into this place, or maybe it was closed. I forget what. Nobody wanted to go in. And so I start to back out, and I run into this car that's headed into the drive-through. This car basically runs into the back of the truck. I never saw the car. And it didn't hurt the truck at all. Obviously, it's a F550, but it didn't really do a lot of damage to this chick's car. And I was like, hey, we'll just call the police. It's a rental. It's fine. Whatever, just take a couple of minutes, get the police report done, blah, blah, blah. And she just did not want the police called at all. And I started looking, and I started paying attention to, the way she was dressed in the car and the shit in the car. And I'm like, hooker. and Grace, the female crew member I had with me, had no fucking idea. And the other dude, the young guy, it wasn't Colin, it wasn't, I forget who it was. It was one of the dudes was like, he also is kind of getting that hooker vibe, right? And I'm like, that's my only interaction with a hooker. I'm like 90% sure. And
wait, that's your only interaction? So you've never bought one before?
No, I don't. I've never bought one.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I understand men that do. I've never done that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I lived in Reno for a while.
Yeah.
And I've actually been to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch. So I guess
my dad used to go there all the time. He'd always pick up the women there. Now what did she dress like that made you think she was a hooker? I'm just curious.
Well,
what was it?
It was so it's Texas, but it's early in the year. It's like I want to say it was like 1st of March, so it's still chilly in Texas, right? And so she gets out of this battered ass car, and I forget what kind of car it was. I don't remember. Piece of shit, and a lot of makeup, an outfit that can only be described as something that comes off instantly, right? And just a lot of like perfume, right? Like a lot of stuff. And normally I would have just thought, well, it's just some just some bar fly that's on her way to the bar. But this chick wanted nothing to do with the police. I mean, nothing. She didn't smell like alcohol, so she wasn't drunk. She didn't look like she was. I mean, she could have had drugs on her, but who knows? But she wanted nothing to do with the police at all. So my guess is that she was a hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I went to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch once. I was on a Porsche Club tour, and it was a scavenger hunt, and one of the things that you had to have to win was a menu from the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, and so it was Ron, Denise, and I were all in the same car doing this tour. And no, wait, I lied. Ron and Denise were in their car, and I was in a different Porsche. And there was a sign. I don't know if there still is. There was a sign that said "No women allowed." So Denise had to sit in the car while her husband and I went into the bunny ranch and got a menu. Those were some aggressive females, dude.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like aggressive. Like sharks are less, scary, to be honest. Because those women know that you have money and they want it. Right? Like it's their job. They take it seriously. And so we got the menus and left, and that was it. I didn't actually realize there was a menu. I didn't know that was a thing. But, yes, Arthur died. The Moonlight Bunny Ranch at that time discriminated against women. It was for men only. The only women that were there worked there. I guess they didn't want competition.
Why? So, that they didn't cater to lesbians is what?
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out the context for that. Like, why the hell would a woman want to go to a prostitute den? I don't.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So
it's still hard for me to assume bad things about people. I don't want to think people are gay.
It's very Southern of you, actually. You're just like it takes you a minute to hit on the bad side.
Yeah. Well, I was raised not to think bad stuff about people.
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell. You going to run for office again this year, Anson?
Oh no, I think I'm done doing that grid.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I might help other people run. And I've recruited people to run in the past and did trainings and stuff like that to get them, compliant with their campaign finance and with, messaging for their campaign and stuff like that. And I'll probably do that again.
Yeah.
But, in terms of me actually running.
No City Hall?
Well, yeah. And I've had people tell me that I need to run for city office again. But I don't know. I've got too many enemies, Grid. I pissed off a whole lot of
people. Come on, man. Come on.
I pissed off a whole lot of people, man.
You?
And yeah, and if I were to run again, like the negative advertising that would be used against me is so voluminous. I mean, hell, the last time I ran, there was an ad that was distributed in the mail with my picture beside a mushroom cloud.
Nice.
Yeah, somebody.
Nice.
Yeah, so somebody really don't like me. And anyway,
That's all right. Artie Chico, yeah, sorry, man. I start on time. I actually started like 5 minutes late tonight, and I felt really bad about that. So sorry, guys. So I got a video I want to show you, Anson. Just why not? So I'm going to show you this video. This video is this young lady that is she is a Korean cheerleader, and she is I think the most popular Korean cheerleader at the moment. She's the number one. She's only been doing it about a year, and she's famous for this thing called a Pika dance. I'm really not sure what that is. I haven't. Again, I'm too lazy to Google to find out. But I want you to know this young lady is famous. Like, people want her autograph. She's not legendary, but she's quite famous. And yeah, tell me what you notice about this video of this young lady. We'll go ahead and throw that up there, and I'll hit play. Also, no sound. Sorry. Oh, look, she bows. Oh, look, she's being nice. She's signing. She bows. Oh, look. Oh, thank you. Thank you for wanting my autograph. Isn't that impressive, Anson?
yeah, how old is she? She looks like she's what, like 17?
I think she's 21 or 22.
Okay, well then I could say she's really hot. That's the first thing I noticed. And then let's see. Yeah, she looks traditional. Yeah. And I don't know. I've known some Asian ladies before too, and they're more traditional than Western.
Oh,
So is
I hit the wrong tab. There we go.
is she Korean or is she Japanese?
She's Korean.
Korean. Okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't know anything else about her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just saw the video popped up in my feed, and I was like, "This is," because when I saw it, it took me a minute to realize what was going on, and then I was like, "Hey, you know what? This chick's famous, and she's still like bowing to people. She's like really polite. She doesn't have a. I mean, she probably has a ton of makeup on. But she doesn't look like she has a ton of makeup on. She's dressed relatively demurely. If that was an American famous young lady, do you think that how would they contrast, Anson? By the way, Arthur Dias says that you would smash.
Well, yeah, but she still isn't coming over. I don't know why she keeps talking about it. Anyway, yeah, no, like how do you contrast it? So that Korean girl looked like she was, what is the word?
Normal?
Chaste.
Chaste. Oh, good word. That's fucking fantastic word use.
She looked like she had self-respect.
Yeah.
And those are things that aren't valued in Western culture anymore.
Sure.
She didn't have multicolored hair, and she wasn't trying to, what is that? Act like something she wasn't.
Yeah, do you see how nice and she like took pictures with everybody? She didn't rush off. She, didn't act like it was a big deal. It wasn't. It was not an imposition on her that her fans want her autograph. And there were little kids there, and she would take pictures and make the little heart sign or whatever. I thought it was very telling, right? By the way, Arthur Dice says, "Damn it, Grid! Why did you introduce Anson to my competition? Don't worry, she's on the other side of the world, and I think Anson's passport's expired."
It is expired, Grid. How'd you know it was expired?
I just have a feeling about these things. So you're safe. You're safe, Arthur Dyer. So forget it. BBL, Botox, and fillers, fake tan, booty shorts. Oh, she doesn't have any of those things, so obviously does not appeal to the American audience. I got you, bro. So yeah. Arthur Dye is actually really a tiny person. So she's been on stream. She's cammed up before. So.
Yeah. Wow,
Smoking
only
Space
100
Man, no,
pounds.
this is not the Korean version of the Hawk Tuah girl, although she is apparently, and you guys can do your own Googling. I'm just too fucking
What's her
lazy.
name?
Her name?
Yeah, who is she?
Lee space Ju space EUN.
Oh,
It's just fucking Googling right now.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a K-pop person. K-pop
no,
singer.
she's a cheerleader, not K-pop. No. There is another one that's a K-pop person.
She looks the same. I can't really differentiate. They all look the same to me.
I know they all look the same to you. I was literally about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got as we get into the last hour, I've got a really good subject too. But I just really wanted your opinion on this, Anson, because when this video popped, because I have to be honest, obviously you saw that the video, I don't know anything because it's in Korean, and my wife speaks Chinese around my phone so much that my phone, I get all of these Chinese language videos and things that I don't think most Americans get in their Facebook feeds or whatever. And so I've been so anyway, I get all of this stuff, and this just popped up, and it was I just thought it was like wholesome, man. It was almost like wholesome, right? Like kind of what I remember back when I was a young lad. And I just couldn't yeah, there we go. You dated a Chinese girl from Shanghai? How'd that go for you? Did you like that? I mean, I like Chinese girls, obviously.
You married one.
Arthur Dye is really worried about the competition here. Hopefully she doesn't speak English.
Yeah, I can see she's worried.
Korean. Although I heard Anson likes to learn languages, so he's probably trying to learn Korean as we speak. Probably got that Google up on his computer now. Yeah, very respectful. I think that's really the word I think you were looking for besides chase, Anson. She's very respectful of other people's time and everything. So
yeah, no, she seemed like she was normal.
Normal, yeah, right. That was the word.
Yeah, that's not like the American girls, you know. She seemed more like American girls her age, you know. The older ones, she seemed more like that. Like she had like her head screwed on straight, like she had parents who taught her how to you know, I don't know how to put it. Not I don't know. I'll have to think about this. I'm trying to put some words together, and I don't know where they're going.
Yeah, you think I'm going to answer K2. Yeah. Do you get them in Chinese language? K2. So I get it. He says, I don't know. I get all the Asian models and stuff on my phone. Yeah, I mean, that's because you probably scroll through a bunch of pretty women every day. I don't. But I have no end of various skincare, all of this other stuff because, you know, my wife is chatting and my phone is laying there. And she uses a lot of the Korean beauty products because apparently they're the best. So, Smoking Spaceman, does Arthur Dye have a thing for Anson? Arthur Dye replies that Anson, you are her future baby daddy, so she doesn't become a cat lady.
Yep.
Solid work. Solid. Although I hear Anson has cats, so kind of helps out.
Actually, no, I don't have cats. That is seditious. You don't have cats? I do not like cats. Okay. I can tolerate them at other people's houses.
Oh. You get it in Chinese language, K2. That's pretty impressive, actually. So I get like all the weird Chinese stuff, man. Like all of it. I don't know why. All the beauty products. I don't need beauty products. I'm ugly. I've accepted that. So get him, Arthur Dye. I hear Anson's always looking for a new ex-wife.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for the next ex Mrs. Knowles. Yeah. Yeah. Arthur Daya, she's a doctor. She's got red hair. She's 100 pounds. She's a complete package. Yeah. I mean, if she wants
all of the boxes.
Yeah, if she wants, and she's super pale too. I mean, I like them transparent women. You know, usually women are complicated. You know, she's transparent.
Oh Lord, that is. Whew. All right. Well, as we enter into the final hour of the show, I know that everyone is glad that it's almost over. Anson, have you been following anything in the news lately? Are you just like been into your vampire, whatever the hell that stuff? What would you call it? Vampire
manga. Yeah.
manga. I'll remember that.
Yeah. No, I spend about 10 minutes every day making sure that I follow the mainstream media, so I know that the appropriate narrative. No, I'm not joking. I'm being serious.
No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah, because I think it's fun to follow and see what the bias is. So yeah, I've been following some. I can't avoid the news entirely. Yeah. So what do you want to know, man? What's going on?
If there's any one thing out there that you could pick on right now, what would it be?
There is an overwhelming sense of hope on the right.
I kind of knew that you were going to say that based on what you said about Sank earlier.
Yeah, there's the right wing for some reason hasn't learned from the fact that just because you elect Trump, you get something. He didn't really accomplish a whole hell of a lot in his first presidency, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's almost accomplished more in the first 5 days than his entire first presidency.
He hasn't really done anything though. There's been no laws passed.
Well, that's for Congress to do, but he's been busy slanging them EOs out and clarifying and undoing all of the bad things that are done or have been done.
Now, him ending birthright citizenship with an executive order was classic.
It's interesting because he didn't actually end it. He's just clarifying that just because you have basically he's doing what Bush tried to do to get rid of the anchor babies that Obama undid. And now basically all Trump's doing is he's forcing the issue to have the Supreme Court clarify it.
Yeah, and that's not abnormal for the executive branch to take a position on a law and then force, the courts to either acquiesce or disagree. I mean, that's what the executive branch does.
Well, ideally, that's what they do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's usually one of the damn federal agencies that do it, where they take some wild ass position that's unconstitutional and it forces the judicial to take a position on it. It's just Trump doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm happy about that. If the right would just learn that elections are actually pointless, it would be better. But this is a good, first step.
We know that you want a king, and we're not going to get there, and I apologize for that. But
apology accepted.
Closest we're going to get, man.
Yeah,
I know that when everyone was talking about having Were they talking about that Trump's a dictator and all of that? I know that you were hoping and praying that they were right and they were wrong, and that upset you, and you're very unhappy about that. But
Well, I don't want a dictator. I want a king. There's a difference.
yeah, tomato, tomato.
Yeah. Yeah. And Trump still has time. I have great hope.
You have great hope. All right.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have hope that he will. And he's talking about ending the Department of Education grid. You know how awesome that would be if he actually
It would be truly epic.
Yeah, he's and if he did that one thing, I mean, that would make him the greatest president of my lifetime. So,
well, he effectively ended the entire DEI department in the federal government.
Yeah.
Do you know how amazingly awesome that is?
Yeah, and he's stopping the T's from being treated like they're normal people in the military.
Correct.
He's putting them back in the place where they belong to.
Yeah. So, what do you think about what's your position, Anson? Because you're an educated man. What's your position on the claim that the T movement has set back LGBTQ progress 10 years, 15 years?
That's stupid.
You think so?
Yeah, well, if you don't remember, the T didn't get added onto LGB
right
until right after the LGB until right after the LGB won marriage rights.
Right. So I guess the claim is that the T movement has undone so much of the work of the LGB movement.
Are they still letting the degenerates get married to each other like it's normal?
Yeah, I think so. But
so nothing's been rolled back. That's just a bunch.
Well, they're talking about not talking about rollback legislation, but I mean that the progress that the I just hate tiptoeing around this. The progress that's been made by the homosexuals that the T's have undone because they keep involving kids. They keep making these ridiculous claims as to their mental health, and they keep pushing issues into places where even the standard gay men and lesbians don't want it to go.
That's not true. That's just a bunch of nonsense. They hadn't rolled anything back. Look, there's an entire generation of young people that think the T's are normal now.
Right. Yeah, but that's all right. So
that didn't exist before. And so in 30 years, all those people that think that T's are normal, they're going to have kids and it's going to expand. This is a disgusting thing. Unless there's something big that happens that really rolls it back, then it's just going to get worse. There's nothing that's been rolled back in the culture.
You don't think that they've done harm to the movement? Because I think they have.
No,
I think that the average person on the street, where like people like me just didn't care about gays and lesbians at all. Like I just didn't care. Now I'm like, fuck those guys. Like they endorse this T movement. And now look at what we've got. We've got all of this DI, we've got all this woke shit, and all of that stuff's kind of being rolled back. And I think there's a long way to go. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that, things have been happening overnight, but I think they've done a lot of harm. I think they've set them back because in normal people's eyes, which there are, by the way, you're talking about a very small part of society that needs normal people like you to just not care that they do the things they do. And so you and I don't go out and say, fuck no, we're not doing that. And instead we just stay home and we just don't care. We don't go to wherever they're, whatever thing that they're trying to get passed. And that way they can get, they can get their marriage and they can get, rights and that sort of thing. And I think, obviously I don't think that they're going to roll back gay marriage, which I don't really care about. because I don't consider it marriage to begin with. But I think it's done a lot of harm to the perception of gays and lesbians in general, because they are associated with the T's, and a lot of the homosexual communities are really unhappy with the really unhappy with the T's overall.
Look, they've progressively normalized freaks in society for generations. They're continuing to do that now.
Sure.
That hasn't changed at all. Nothing's been rolled back. That's a bunch of nonsense. They're
Yeah.
still look. The younger generation is indoctrinated into this, and they're
They're waking up though. Even they're waking up.
No, man. Not the ones that I've seen. The kids that are in my 20-year-old son's age range, all those people are just as indoctrinated as they were before. I don't think that there's been any change at all, except for some of the older people that used to be go along to get along, like in your age range demographic and mine.
Yeah.
So some of those people are waking up, realizing, hey, wait, maybe this radical tolerance that we've been doing is wrong. But the younger people that are already indoctrinated, it's too late, man.
I had a great conversation last night about how I'm a constitutional conservative, and if it's not in the Constitution, I don't believe it should exist, and blah blah blah. I literally was told that by this guy he's a Christian apologist, and a very poor one. He was like, well, I just knew you were going to be one of those guys that worship the Constitution, and I'm like, I don't worship the Constitution, but it is the law of the land. And they kept saying that the Bible is the law of the land. And I'm like, well, that's patently not true, as much as you may want it to be. And as much as I may want it to be, it's patently not true. It was a great conversation, argument, actually. And his position was just fucked up. I destroyed that guy. Anyway, I didn't care because I'm a libertarian. I'm not a libertarian. Anson's a libertarian.
Yeah, I'm a libertarian.
I am not a libertarian. That's why Anson and I can argue so effectively together, because I don't agree with half the shit that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, and the Constitution is of no consequence because I didn't sign the damn thing.
Right. See, right out of the gate.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting, by the way, that was it. The pro-Palestine movement is a communist movement. That's true. They're in high schools now. Yeah, that's true. The problem is it's like, and I went through this when I was in high school with all the, everybody thought that all the kids were going to be these, weirdo fuckers. And they got out and they were just normal kids, even though, in school they were, a little fucked up and a little crazy or whatever. And they had various weird, and honestly, at that time, the gay movement or whatever was starting as I was getting out of college. I remember, seeing dudes hold hands and shit and thinking, that's really fucked up. But I just don't. I think it's really bad for the LGB actual T, right? Like all of these conversion people, all of the full, the people who want full body conversions and all of that. I think all of that's really messed up. And by the way, Anson, you know what? To be honest with you, I actually hope a lot of them become trans, because that's the highest rate of suicide in the country. And if I can't take care of them, maybe they'll take care of themselves. Isn't that a dark thing to say?
Yeah, that's messed up, man. But what I'll say,
I had to kind of come at you that way though, because that's the reality of it, right? Like they have the highest suicide rate of any demographic.
Well, the Skittles Coalition, they can't breed more of their kind because they're evolutionarily defective. They can only indoctrinate.
That's true. That's true. They can only indoctrinate. So it's going to end anyway. Well, all right. So I was actually that actually brings up something else. Now, obviously, you've met the Furby who has chemically castrated himself already, and but he still has balls. They just don't work anymore. And, you know, and he has effectively removed himself from the gene pool, which to me is fucking great. Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, and
Other than the fact that fucker thinks it's okay for children to have free access to pornography. And so there are other problems too, but that's a really fucked up thing. Right.
well, yeah, they used to have like asylums where they put people like that to keep them
Yeah, he did.
separate from the rest
And
of
I've mentioned
society.
several times that he should be in an asylum, especially when he starts spazzing out like he did last night.
Well, based on what you just said, he's a danger to society.
I mean, he's Canadian, so
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. You don't want to mess with Canada. They've never lost a war.
well, they've also invented war crimes.
Yeah,
Or patented them.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Well, good talk. I, you know, I had to get a little dark there for a minute because that's the reality that I see. Right. Like basically they're saying that what we want to do is we want to have a very specific group of people that have an exceedingly high rate of unaliving themselves continue forward and unalive themselves.
Well, yeah. Except I want to save as many people as possible.
I know you do.
I don't think it's
That's a
right.
libertarian in you.
Well, yeah. Well, no, that's more of like a you know, they're people aren't breeding anymore, man. You know, we gotta save them so they can breed. You know, beat the stupid out of them and make them have kids. You know what I'm saying? They the more people that are indoctrinated and do the sorts of things that the conversions that they're pushing on these, you know, teenagers, like they were talking about, all that stuff is just reducing the number of people who are going to be in their late 20s and realize, hey, wait, I thought a bunch of stupid stuff when I was a teenager, but now I want a family. Because you're supposed to, when you're a teenager, think a bunch of stupid things, and then when you get older, realize, hey, wait, I just used to think a bunch of stupid things, but now I've matured, I've grown up, I've seen what the real world's like. I want a wife and children, or a husband and children, you know. But if you don't set guardrails on the way people behave as a culture anymore, and you're just tolerant of absolutely all depravity, then you're going to basically handicap a generation and make it where they don't breed. And I don't know. I just think that breeding is a very important part of being human, because, you know, we're supposed to pass on, you know, this world to the next generation, and if we're not doing that, we're not doing our job. This whole, it's anti-human is what it is. The whole Skittles coalition is just anti-human. It's just like communism or any of the other anti-human philosophies that come out of the left. They have to be defeated.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Man.
Echo chambers only allow those who adhere to cult party lines. I agree, Smoking Spaceman.
Yeah, I'm not very good with echo chambers, to be honest with you. I'm not much of one. So we've talked about immigration. We've talked about Trump a little bit. Talked about a lot of good stuff. What do you think about Destiny and his orbiters? Have you heard anything about that?
You know, I have never followed Destiny and his orbiters, and the only time I hear about them is when I'm paying attention to the Crucible and his orbiters. Because honestly, I don't care about Destiny. He's never really done anything for me in terms of giving me any reason to care about anything he's ever said.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why people cared in the first place. That's what I feel about them.
I think he, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I really try hard not to care about him because, you know, the reality is he's a tool belt and I don't like him. But even though he's a tool belt and I don't like him, he's a shit ton of people follow him. People listen to what he says, and so it behooves me to pay attention to what that dumb fucker is saying. And so, and because of that, I have to, whether I want to or not, I gotta pay attention to this, to that jackwad. So, now that said, so I don't know what you know about what's been happening, but Destiny apparently Destiny likes to video himself having relations with men and women, and that has been leaked, supposedly leaked. We don't know whether it was leaked or whether it was purposefully put out there. There is some claim that Destiny himself leaked it. He is he's been paid by Progressive Victory. He's never personally come out and admitted it, but he has alluded to it so much that you kind of have to, you just have to accept that that's what it is. I mean, that's just what it is. So, with that in mind, Anson, you know who Pixie is, right?
She's pretty cute.
Not so erudite.
Yeah, she's pretty smart. I like her. She's got a good head on her
And there's
shoulder.
another couple of women. Now, Not So Erudite, I don't think has had a video of leaked, but several other women have had their.
Wait, is there a Pixie video out there? I'd pay to watch that. That's good stuff.
Yeah, there's a Pixie video out there, and with Destiny in some kind of.
Wait, Destiny's in the video with her? Oh, never mind. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, it's a sex tape that's been leaked. It's also with let's see, I forget who all the players are, right? But there's like 4 women that have come out and said that video and or audio or computer files have been leaked with them in sexual context. And Destiny, obviously he's one of those people that's kind of controversial to start with, and then you start adding in stupidity like this, and now he's not controversial. It's just straight fucked up.
So what I'm hearing here is the normal progression for feminist men, which is that feminist men are not actually protective of women; they're predators. And what you're describing to me is predatory behavior, where he's in charge of this large organization. It's not really like a highly structured thing, but he's got a lot of people that are kind of under him in terms of the hierarchy.
Yeah,
and he's taking advantage of these women because feminist men are predators.
I personally believe, and obviously larger streamers, I'm going to say what I'm going to say here. I believe straight up that it was sex for results, because as near as I can tell, Destiny was literally setting these women up with streams, giving them, coming on their show, bringing audience to them, getting them, getting them monetized, giving them, helping them to get revenue, and it's a really interesting thing.
That's disgusting, man. Taking advantage of those women like that.
Well,
when you're in a position of authority, you know, basically
that's
using your
actually the biggest problem I have with it is he literally was all the things that he accuses people on the right of doing, he actually fucking did. Like he actually did it. Like there's no equivocation, right? Like he actually did it. And so he, basically, there's no, and so all of these women have come out now. Pixie originally was like, "Hey, this is fucked up. I never agreed for this to be leaked. We had an agreement that that the video would never be shared. It's it's out there. I'm positive if you look hard enough, you can find it." And Destiny's really been quiet on the issue. Now, Pixie did basically go to Destiny and say, you need to pay me $1 million or I'm gonna sue the shit out of you. And and Destiny said no. So apparently they're probably going forward with the lawsuit. And it's pretty fucked up, Anson. It's a whole and what's really interesting is it's all the things that he literally accuses conservatives of men in power.
well, feminist men are weak. Feminist men don't know how to protect jack squat, and they're in their position to manipulate women into being vulnerable around them, so that they can take advantage of them because they're not strong men; they're weak men. And that's all Destiny is a weak, pathetic man.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I agree. But I mean, and so that's all come out the past week. Destiny's obviously been very quiet. He was very quiet about it. And, basically all the stuff that he tried to, rape Trump over the coals for, he has actually done. Matter of fact, he's done worse, right? Like he truly did take advantage of these women. And worse is now they're looking at Not So Erudite as being a Ghislaine Maxwell type character, feeding Destiny these women and then shutting them up if they complained.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very interesting. I mean, if it stays in the public eye, it's going to get ridiculously hilarious from my point of view. Now, obviously, it's a tragedy that these things happen to some degree, but look, don't suck cock on film, right? How hard is that to remember? Ladies, don't do sex stuff on camera.
Unless it's with me.
Not even with Anson.
What? No, that's not true.
No.
Don't listen to Grid. Only with Anson.
Listen to Grid. Listen to the man telling you no sex on camera. Glenn, I dropped you the link if you want to slide in, man. So come on up. I want to show. I need to show Glenn the Korean girl video. See what he thinks. So I mean, what do you So I got to ask Anson. For the past, as long as I can remember, the Democrats have always got away with being able to be absolute fucking degenerates, sex tapes, blackmail, prostitution, sex for hire, all of it. You name it, they've done it, and they've gotten away with it.
Well, their position of superiority is not moral virtue; it's moral tolerance.
Sure.
For the right wing, if their position is moral virtue, and so if they fall prey to their own sinful nature and do the sorts of things like you're describing, then they're hypocrites. But if the left does it, since their high value is tolerance, it doesn't really matter because they're not being hypocrites because they don't put themselves forward as virtuous people in the first place.
Well, yeah, sure. That in theory they're not being hypocrites, but that's not my point. Is not that they're hypocrites. My point is that they get away with it. They're very rarely punished for their actions, and yet they will literally cry foul for a Republican looking at a girl in a cute dress, right? Like, did you see the way Trump looked at this girl? Did you see? Well, he patted her on the ass or whatever, you know. So, and by the way, in addition to the videos of the girls having sex with Destiny that they may or may not have known about, and now they've been leaked. A video just recently was leaked of Destiny sucking some dude's cock. I believe it was it might have been Nick Fuentes, which would be really weird. But I think Destiny has the love-hate thing because apparently he had sex with Lauren Southern as well, and we don't have video of that. But for sure, there's a video out there of Destiny sucking cock.
Why are all these people having sex with this? Is he like super ugly?
I mean,
that'd be like me having a harem. I mean, I'm
going
not
to be honest with you.
I'm not no Glenn, you know. I'm not no, you know.
All right, here's the answer, bro. Meth.
Ugh.
Just saying, meth, straight meth.
Yeah.
So, Glenn, are you coming up or not? What's up? Where you at? Adam Schiff kept a guy chained in his basement with a ball gag, a sitting member of Congress. What the fuck?
Is that true? That's
Is
pretty
that
hilarious.
For real? That seems plausible, honestly.
Yeah.
Congress, you know, congressman. Yeah, okay. Anson, what the fuck? What is the world coming to?
I don't know, man. I guess it's always been that way. It's just, you know.
Okay. So let's just put Destiny to the side for a minute. What do you think about Obama and Jennifer Aniston?
Well, I thought he was into dudes.
Well, that's what I think. So you know that Larry Sinclair guy, his book was just released, right? Where he's like, I did cocaine and got a blowjob from with President Obama, and you know, so do you? And there's a huge suspicion that the Jennifer Aniston claim is to try and pull attention away from the book because the book was just released recently, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, and he was on Tucker not too long ago too. But so you're saying she's a beard, but you know, and I don't know if it's true or not. But he's married. I mean, he's kind of, or is their relationship like old Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where his wife isn't really his wife, she's off doing stuff with other guys too, or girls, or whatever the arrangement is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So the theory is that, and we talked about this at the beginning of the show, that chaotic truth theory is that black women or black men preferred white women because they're more feminine than black women, and therefore, why wouldn't Obama go for Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually happened. We don't know that actually happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I've known some down low gay black men.
They call it on the. That's I actually read an article in a psychology magazine that's actually the term they use is on the DL.
Yeah. Some down.
They don't mean that they're just keeping it quiet. They mean like they're having butt stuff.
Yeah, so the down low gay black men that I've known, you can't differentiate them from normal black men. Where you know, a lot of the Skittles community, they have mannerisms that are more feminine, so you can kind of tell immediately, hey, that one's you know, that one's a little funny. But these down low black guys, you can't tell. So kind of like if Obama was DL, you know, and he had, you know, stuff going on with other dudes, you know, he's a fairly masculine guy. He's not the most masculine guy, but you know, you wouldn't be able to tell. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. You know, it's just wild speculation,
Gotcha.
and I'd hope that Jennifer Aniston had a, you know, better standards than Obama, but I guess he was president. Oh, look, it's Glenn Lawrence.
Well, I mean, could be Glenn Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Glenn, are you there, Glenn?
I'll just, you know, leaving you guys guessing in suspense.
Glenn's probably got the entire Destiny film collection in his collection.
Yeah, well, they're intermingled.
Let me just say this: I have been spammed with 2 videos in my inbox, and all I have to say is, "Fuck you, AJ." All right.
Fuck you, AJ. That's funny. Hey, I got a video for you to watch, Glenn.
Okay.
Now, I want to tell you, this is going to shock and amaze you in ways you may not have been have not been shocked and or amazed for some time. I want you to be, you know, I don't want you to lose your shit or anything, and just be prepared for for what you're about to see here. Okay. Now I'm going to here we go.
Any warnings? Nothing? No?
Yep, here we go. We're just firing into it. Let me hit the play button. Oh, there's the play button. And to preface this, I don't know how I got music. To preface this, Glenn, this young lady is the top cheerleader in Korea. She's famous for some dance called the Pika Pika dance. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure you can Google it. And here she is. She's signing baseballs. He's bowing. Do you notice how many times she bows to everyone? Let's just leave a little bow. Yeah. Very respectful, I think. But what you see this? I watched this the other day and I thought, you know what? I can't compare an American star to this, right? What do you think, Glenn?
I'm wondering why the fuck we care about cheerleaders.
Well, I just mentioned that she's a cheerleader because to explain
That
why
she's
she's
signing
signing
everything
baseball.
is because she's a cheerleader.
Well, she's very famous. She's the #1 cheerleader in fucking Korea, so pretty famous.
Okay. Well, I mean, like her mannerisms are really nice.
Because I'm lazy. All right, hang on, Smoke. I'm fucking lazy, smoking spaceman. Literally, anyone will tell you I don't Google shit. But I will because you are asking me to. What the fuck's her name?
Like, I'm just like wondering, like, why is she a big deal? Like, she better have done like a really good dance.
Well, I mean, apparently it's like a TikTok legend trend. Let me see if I can get this to pop up. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Fuck. You guys are going to get me like some fuck, you know, whatever. There we go.
Thank you, Sliver. She's the equivalent to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Okay.
All rolled in one girl. Yeah.
I got you. That makes sense now.
And so anyway, yeah, she but did you see how respectful she was and all of that? Like I just I can't contrast a famous American girl doing that.
No, they won't. They will get, trust me, they'll be okay. Yeah, I guess we'll take a picture. Can you make it quick though? I gotta get going. You know, trust me.
Right,
I've seen it.
took the pictures, signed the baseballs, did the bow, right?
Mhm.
Like did
Yep.
the whole bow and everything. All right, here we got the. Is this the dance? Maybe it's not the dance. I don't know. Let me find the dance. You guys got me going into a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, because we know Grit has a thing for Asians, so you don't
I
need his wife
do.
to see
I
his
do,
search history.
actually.
He keeps on all these
I have
damn
a thing for-
Asian girl videos.
What's really yeah. So my wife won't find it unusual, basically. So, but actually, she probably would. She'd probably be like, "Why are you looking at cheerleaders? That's out of character." And I'd be like, "Well, it was a research project for the stream."
We're well, Glenn needed some. That you need to stay away from that Glenn guy. He's a bad influence on you.
Yeah, that's actually no. She wouldn't say that.
Like, babe, it wasn't me. It was Glenn.
It's all Glenn. It's all Glenn.
Trust me, I'm all my friends' wives' bad influence.
Bad influence. That's right.
He's a bad influence on you.
All right, here we go. Pretty smooth with that makeup.
That's not a pin.
Have you seen enough? I turn it off.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Like they must not have. I'm sorry.
They haven't. Look, the other thing that I noticed is that their cheerleaders are not wearing bikinis.
What
That's a problem.
were they at a baseball game?
Yeah, they're baseball cheerleaders.
Who has baseball cheerleaders?
It's a different culture, Glenn.
Fucking A, get it. No baseball. Baseball don't get cheerleaders, okay? That's dumb. They can't even American, right?
Like Glenn's like, why is she in a dress?
You said she's a cheerleader. Where's the scantily clad clothing? Like,
yeah. Why isn't she in a bikini? What? Well, she's way too many clothes on.
this is not a cheerleader.
Glenn, we gotta get you out of Hollywood, bro. We really do.
That's just America in general.
So she's
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. No, I'm
Hollywood, they just wear pasties when they do cheerleading, okay? Big difference.
Did you see the first uniform was like a work shirt? Like,
so she's Korean, and that means she's part of that 4B stuff.
Yeah, she's all about that. She's all about that Takwa Alfina or whatever. She's trying to poison men. Yeah. Yeah, go sign an get your autograph signed from a serial killer.
Yeah.
No booty. Ghost 1978 is like thumbs down, no booty.
I'm with you. I'm with Ghost. I'm with Ghost on this. I don't know what the big deal is.
You're a Latina dude anyway, so we can't.
You don't know what I am.
We can't fix you, bro.
I'm a proportionate dude. I don't care what your race is, as long as you're proportionate. But you do got to have a booty. Proportionate to your size.
I don't care, but
no, I really don't. Like if you ain't got a booty proportionate to your size, yeah, it's not working for me. I'm gonna put you on the Kanye West workout plan. So, did you summon me here for the degeneracy? Is that what you did? So I could be blamed for it?
No,
because I know Anson is the guy for degeneracy.
I actually had I don't. That's not really a dance.
That's not a dance at all. I don't know what when you like she made a TikTok sensation. I'm just like,
yeah. Look, first of all, I don't have TikTok. I don't know.
Your talk don't tick. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. And I didn't know. I don't know. much more than what I've already said. So,
But like, it's just interesting because, like, and this is just our American culture to other countries, right? I look at that, I'm like, we got people doing the most craziest, wildest acrobatic shit out here, and that girl just did like a little 2-step and just kind of put her hand up to the thumb,
Well, she threw a little hip action in there.
Good, that woman didn't have no hips. Okay,
It was her modesty.
Glenn's like, that weren't no hip action. She wasn't twerking, Glenn. You're right. She was not twerking. I
don't know what she
admire
was
the
doing.
fact that she was not twerking.
Well, I don't know what she was doing at all. I thought she was about to do something with like the palm, like her makeup, and just do a little like a whole like routine or something. But then she did like
I figured it out.
She did the hitchhiker. That's what she was doing. The hitchhiker.
Too wholesome for Glenn. Too wholesome.
You're probably right.
Is there a direct dono link, Silvar? Yes. And it's normally in the chat.
You can directly donate to my Cash App.
Yeah, there's a Cash App link. Hang on, stand by. I'll fix that for you. That's my bad, man. I went to a different type of gym tonight. After telling Glenn literally yesterday that I was not going to do that, my wife got me into this Orange
Theory.
Orange Theory, thank you. Yes, and so we went and she got me to try it out, and it's not bad. It's just not my scene. I don't like the music.
Smaller gym.
Yeah, I don't like the music. The workouts are okay. The workout was fine.
It's because it's not a real gym, Grid. It's a feminist fitness center.
Yeah, I think that's really the problem. Not that there's anything. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it was fine, but
Ghost.
What?
Just read Ghost's comment. Crack me up.
Amish channel here. If you compare them, right? Wait, are you calling me Amish, bro?
Yeah, he's saying you're an Amish channel compared to my channel.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I gotta be honest. Silvar, the Cash Apps posted, bro. Sorry, I can probably throw it in there. Let me see. Yeah, so I hadn't. So I have not been to a type of gym like Orange Theory. Maybe ever. But definitely not in a while. And I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't the end of the world. It was a good work. It was a good workout. I will give it that. It was a good workout. It's just not my scene. I don't really care for it. And I think I'm just going to stick with my body weight exercises and that sort of thing. So I don't know. What do you think, Glenn?
And after researching the topic thoroughly, I found that the polygyny argument.
What?
There was a video playing in the background about polygyny.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. I think Glenn got something mixed up on one of his servers. He almost accidentally played one of his Destiny videos where him and Destiny were doing something.
Oh, I was wondering where the hell was that coming from? It was coming from my phone.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, where the fuck is my phone? What's playing? What the hell? No, it was an Andrew debate question. It was like one of the streams that when I had Andrew on debating the polygynist. That's what was going off. But no, I think you should stick to the body weight stuff for now.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to the gym.
There's a little impact ish.
Yeah, I need to I'm gonna get going anyways because I gotta go to the gym because my gym closes at 10 tonight. They normally close at 11 Monday through Thursday, but Friday for some reason they close at 10, and Saturday they close at 8. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's cool. How Glenn, I did get Anson back on. I know it's been a while.
I know. Where's he been? Has he been cooming?
With his ex-wife.
Well, then technically, they're just exes on paper, but they're fuck buddies then, right?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I don't have any other responsibilities, and I've got all the back pay in terms of sex that she wasn't putting out before. It's a win-win for me.
he's collecting.
Hey, if it works, like, I mean,
oh, that's awesome.
is it like back pay, like spousal support, like sexual support? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. She was frigid for several years, and then the divorce thawed her out.
That's why they say, like, girlfriends girlfriends are better than wives for a reason.
Yeah. I need to get 2 or 3 of them.
That's fun.
Any chicks, Glenn, send them my way.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Where are you in Bama?
Yeah, North Alabama. I'm close to Grid. We're homies.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're homies.
If I run across any, but I won't. But if I do, I'll definitely send them your way. Do you still like the armpit hair thing though, Anthony?
Yeah, and if they live in a trailer, it's even better too.
Okay, armpit hair and
his wife live in a trailer?
No, she's got a house.
Oh.
Yeah, she's fancy.
Okay, I was like, what in the fucking Alabama hell is that shit? There you go, Silvar. I don't know what happened to the Cash App in the description. Whatever, it's fine. Just there you go.
The Hobot conversation. All right, that's the entire stream was based on the robots. Okay.
Yeah, you've done that before. I saw that.
Yeah, but this one was with Divisive, and it was his stream. He wanted to do it. Yeah, same guy. And we were getting into the nitty gritty with this one, and now we have to do a whole nother stream on the dad bot, because that's going to be single mommies. You want to have a father figure for your kid? Well, dad bot. Here you go. Repair the nuclear family, one AI at a time.
Also, Smoking Spaceman wants you to know that she got a house because Anson paid for it.
But
in return, Anson got the boobs.
But now Anson's getting the booty that he should have gotten before.
Well, yeah. So I was one of those rare instances where she actually made more money than I did for way longer. So I ended up with a better end of the deal in the divorce.
Nice.
So yeah,
basically, Anson got alimony. What?
Yeah, not quite, but yeah, I ended up better off.
That's what I'm talking about. Beat the system.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So, Glenn, did you hear about me on Chaotic Truth today, throwing down the receipts when I was called out?
I didn't even know you were called out. What were you called out for?
So you know that guy OB that goes on there, by any way?
Yeah.
The loudmouth. He was basically saying that, I didn't, he was, I kind of was calling him out on all of his bullshit. And basically I told him that no woman that's going to throw out her education, throw out that she's got an MBA, she's got his degree in, rocket science or what the fuck ever. No woman that does that because OB was maintaining that women would do that as a sorting mechanism to make sure that they got a man of appropriate stature. And I said, first of all, men don't give a shit about that, so that doesn't matter. And if a woman's using it as a sorting mechanism, she's looking for a sperm donor and going to take you for every penny you've got. She's looking for a male, not a man, and that's what you are, is a male and not a man, because a man would, the minute she starts throwing that shit out and beating you about the head with her education or job status or whatever, then, you need to, a real man's just going to be like, yeah, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah. A real man's going to be like,
he doesn't care, or he moves on.
A real
But
man's
Bill
gonna be
was
like,
stick
do you
around.
come with more than just those like plaques of diplomas? Like, bitch, do you have a cookbook?
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, I told him, like, the biggest reason I married my wife was not because, I thought that she was going to make a bunch of money one day, is because I thought she'd give me beautiful children. And she did. And so I was right, you know? But it was really, so I told him, I basically called him a feminist. Well, I know I did actually call him a feminist, and I might have insulted his manhood here and there. I don't know. And just being me, you know how I get. The Cash App is the actual name of the app, Silver Ogre. So, but the what was it, man? So Obi thinks that he's got me because he says, he said something, I don't believe anything you say. Go take a picture of your plane right now.
Oh, why did he do that?
And I'm like, you want me to? And he's like, yeah, because obviously he's expecting me to say, well, it's down at the hangar. I got to drive over. Fuck you, Obi.
You flexed on him. You flexed
I
on him.
literally, I'm like, shut the fuck up, motherfucker. And I cam down. I'm like, I'm gonna cam down. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go to my garage right now. And I literally walked in the garage, went onto the phone, took the cell phone and went bam. And it was, and I'm like, see that? That's a motherfucking plane, motherfucker. That's an engine for an airplane, and that's a PSRU for an airplane. And it was really fucking hilarious. And I'm like, OB, you've got to cam up. Actually, before I left, I'm like, OB, you sorry ass motherfucker, you've got to cam up when I do this. If I'm going to go through this, you're going to cam up. And of course, he didn't cam up. And I called him a bitch the entire rest of the time he was on the stream.
Wait a minute. He called you out, and then he didn't even follow through with the
He didn't follow through. He's a bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he did. And I told him, I'm like, I told him, I'm like, Obi, the one thing you better learn about me is I don't lie. If I tell you something, and I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I tell you I've got something or I've done something, I fucking have it. I fucking have done it. And I'm not that guy you want to call out ever, because I will bring that shit to your front door. And he's like, well, and then he was like, because of course he's a goalpost mover. And he's like, well, okay, he's got a plane, so he's got a little money, but how much money does he really have? Does he really have all that? And I'm like, and even Chaotic Truth at that point was like, I know things about Grid that, Obi, you're really barking up the wrong tree here, man. You need to stop. And it was funny. It was a great segment. Like that dude he got owned every way possible. So you missed out, bro.
That's funny.
It was very funny. It was very, very funny. So but it was great, man. Let's see. Then educated my wife. That's right. We paid for that. And then I retired and left his wife bring home the bacon. Yeah, we did do that for a few years, and now I'm buying I'm buying at least one company, and we may end up buying 3. I actually might buy one in Alabama.
Oh, like what are you buying in Alabama now?
All right, so I'm only going to tell you what type of business. I can't tell you much more than that. So I'm looking at buying a commercial glazier, which are commercial glass companies.
I thought you were buying a bunch of hoes. You said you're getting a commercial glazer. I thought professional OnlyFans girls. Is that what you're doing now? What the hell?
No. A commercial glass company that does like schools and hospitals and storefronts, Home Depots, Walmarts, all that kind of shit. All the stores that have all the glass in the front of them. That's us. That business makes about I think this year they're going to gross somewhere around 5 to 6 million. They're going to cash flow about 4.5 to 500, maybe a little higher than that. I should have the final numbers this week, and so we're going to buy that. That's 1.7 million to buy that, and then we're going to buy the property with that. That's another million, and then we're going to probably buy this concrete coating business that does epoxy sealed garage floors and the coated concrete around pools and decks and anything concrete like that, right? So that's a lower. First of all, it's a lower cost business. That's like I think they're looking for $495, so $500,000, and we're going to try and get them down on that a little bit because some things, and then that company currently makes about, I don't know, $2 million a year maybe, and we're going to try and pump that up to about $6 million. And then in Alabama, there's an HVAC electrical company. Now, that guy, he wants like 1.5 maybe, I think is what he was asking. I have to look again. And that business is it's a guy who built the business, and it's too successful. He doesn't have enough time for his kids and his family, so he actually wants to sell the business and then be an employee.
He wants to work for you.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he doesn't want to quit the business. He just doesn't want to.
He doesn't want the overhead.
Yeah, well, it's not really the overhead. He doesn't. So he just wants to go out and do the jobs. He doesn't want to have to pay. Well, first of all, I run into this a lot because a lot of people are really good at their job. He's an excellent HVAC technician. He's an excellent it sounds like he's an excellent electrician, and he hires good people. But the problem is he can't run anything. He doesn't understand contracts. He doesn't understand how to do his book. I'm positive his books are going to be the biggest fucking mess ever. And so, it's it's one of those deals where we can. So, and what this does, I hate making Glenn miss his workout, but what this does for me, Glenn, is so the glass business is in one part of the state. The concrete coating business is in my hometown, and then the electrical business is in Alabama.
So is it all within like close proximity, like an hour drive?
Everything's within 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, but I can take and expand the concrete coating company into where the glass company is, because the building has room, and I can also move the HVAC part. I can also create an HVAC company there because I already have one, and basically I can take assets from each company and move them between the three and end up with 3 companies that have components of each. And instead of costing, all right, let's just say I wanted to open a concrete coating company, like garage floor company in Alabama. If I wanted to do that, so if I wanted to, if I wanted to move an elements of the company here in my hometown down to Alabama, well, I would have to rent a building. I got to go hire a bunch of people. I got all that stuff. If I already have a building down there, I just move them into one corner. And now I have a place, then I have a place to operate out of. I have an office down there, and then I can build a sales force. Then I can build, I can buy more equipment and create clone the operation that's in my area down there. But it doesn't cost me the $100,000 that it would take to do it from zero. That makes sense.
That's going to get complicated pretty fast if you're doing business in 2 different states from multiple locations,
Sure.
with all the different taxes and that's going to be a pain for whatever accountant you hire.
Well, so it's 2 different accountants at that point. So you have an accountant for the business in Alabama, and then you have an accountant for the companies in Tennessee.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't need 2. You could just have one that was worth a damn. That was licensed in 2 states.
Yeah, it's the licensing in 2 states, and it's just the amount of money involved, right? And the amount of debt that I'm taking on. the reason that we're doing this really is because I've been cash rich so long that it's actually starting to.
Oh, cry me a river. Fucking A. I've been cash rich so long, guys. The struggle is real.
So I've been
You don't
sitting
even
on all of
know.
this. So we've been sitting on all of this for too long, and we're actually starting to lose earnings, right? Like it's not growing. It's just sitting there, and it's with the amount of inflation that we have, I'm watching my money, the value of my money decrease daily, basically. So as inflation starts to pull back, I need to invest so that when it advances forward again, I need to inflation proof myself. I was relatively inflation proof, but not enough. And so, it sucks, man, to wake up and realize that you don't have the buying power that you did yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to have those problems. See, those are like rich white people problems. Okay. Let me tell you. Oh, I need to fucking invest my money in something for the value. I'm over here.
Honestly,
like,
Glenn, I think if I were in your position,
I need to make some money.
Dude, Glenn, if I was in your position, and I'm not, and I don't know all of your position, but if I were someone that that had my living expenses covered and I had a little bit of money coming in every month, I would seriously look at buying some kind of business, because
that's what I was talking to you about.
I know, and I'm saying this publicly for everybody. So it doesn't. I mean, you can find an operating business that makes. I mean, what's this? Hang on, I had it right here. It's in my email. Yeah, I'm looking at businesses that are. First of all, I want something I can grow to that's making like, six. I want to take something from 500 or 200, or pardon me, 500 to $1 million, and I want to take it to $6 million, right? I want to grow. I sit around too much, right? I have to keep moving. I have to keep, firing on all the cylinders. And I've done all of the things that I've built all the cars, I've built all the planes, I've got boats, what more can I fucking do?
Build a gym.
I'm not doing a gym. Gyms suck. So,
recording studio.
Recording studio. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think that I would be into it, but I think that it's
I think I would.
But the reality is that if you can, you get into all right. So first of all, Glenn, there's an issue that you run into, and I didn't think about this the other day. So a lot of SBA banks, when I was talking to you the other day, I was working and I wasn't really focused. But if you're looking at buying a business that's like $250,000, right? So typically you would need 10% down, so it's 25 grand. And the and then for an SBA loan to work, but 250,000 is about the least that you can. 250,000 is about the least amount you can finance through SBA. So realistically, when we start talking about SBA loans, we want to be in the 500, 750, $1 million range. So, which is why it's important to buy a company that's making money. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know this really sounds like really stupid things, but
no, it's not stupid. And I'm just uneducated. So,
and I understand it sounds like first world problems, but this is just business. It doesn't matter. Like, you could, if you knew what you were doing and you could tell and you could give the right narrative, a guy off the street with $10,000 in his pocket could probably walk in and buy $1 million company.
How many guys have $10,000 in their pocket besides Grid?
I don't know. I'm just saying, it's as much about the narrative and it's as much about writing the right contract and doing all of the right things. Right. That's why I'm trying to pass some of that on. Right. Like people think it's really hard, but it's really just math.
Arthur Dyer, you keep on playing. I'm going to be in Florida in March, at the end of March. So shit, I'm about to get in Magic Mike.
Are we not, man? It sounds like I'm trying to fill a hole with materialism. That is the money is just a way to keep score. I have to stay busy. I'm a high energy person. I have to keep moving. I do not sit still. Other people can sit still. Other people can watch the world go by. I cannot. I have to keep doing something.
Well, you're supposed to leave an inheritance for your children's children. So
that's true. And I'm building, and that's actually, I'm building the ball of wax, right? Or Warren Buffett, read his book, The Snowball. That's how he reflects on it, is he's just building the snowball. Right. Just keep rolling it up. Just keep rolling it up. But I think that, Arthur Dye actually, Arthur Dye is one of those people that is kind of talking shit, but she's probably got $500,000 in the bank, and she's watching that $500,000 be worth less and less every day.
Arthur Dye is a great sugar mama, for the right guy.
Yeah. And the amount of, and that's why I'm saying, the amount of cash that, so what I had done, and this is not a mistake per se, it's just, I slowed down. I thought I wanted to slow down. I thought I wanted to, do stuff that, I thought I wanted to be normal, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. But basically the
grid.
Yeah.
You cannot be normal.
Right. I understand that. But I thought that that's what I wanted. I thought that thoughts were,
You need to stop having all these thoughts, is what you need to stop doing.
I thought that thoughts were harmless, and then I realized that thoughts are thoughts, and but it
thoughts were not harmless from your old degen days.
But for sure the it looks, for all the world, it looks like that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at something and I'm failing miserably. You just do index funds. That's fine. And I do index funds too. And we can talk about that as well. Arthur Daya, index funds are great. But I just couldn't sit around, right? Like, I just can't, like, honestly, I don't even care if I really make money, but I don't want, but my nature is to make money, right? Like it's what I do. It's not like some people some people make great videos. Some people work out and win gym competitions. Some people drive race cars. I make money. That's what I do. I don't know if that makes sense. It probably does not make sense. It probably sounds like a bunch of cope or something, but I'm just telling you that's the way it is.
I want to make some money. Hey, dirty baby,
yeah.
I got some money. Okay.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I get it. Woodworking is always fun. Yeah, I don't really do very good with working. You just watched Andrew on Piers. That was great, right? I told you. Can you invest in my business? Yeah, actually, I have a real estate fund. The real estate fund is really cool because there is a minimum. I'm not going to mention what that is, but there's a minimum investment, but basically, I
6
think
zeros, guys. 6 zeros. A minimum of 6 zeros.
it is not. It's 5 though. I think it's 75 grand. I think the minimum is 75. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd have
but
to
that's just the entry fee. If you want to be a real player, 6 zeros.
I do think that worked, Silvar Ogre. I'm for some reason I'm being really stupid right now and can't make Cash App work. But I see that I have an alert. I just don't know why it won't show me. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Got it. It is actually. He finds my lack of grift disturbing. I am not grifting very well. It's hard to grift when you're talking about spending $1 million or going into debt $1 million. I really, going into debt $1 million is a great reason to grift, though.
Yeah, you know
Actually,
what?
I would actually technically be going into
he's
debt.
sucking at grifting right now. Let me help you guys out. You can help a starving artist like yours truly.
Yeah, no,
Give you my Cash App.
Because I never even actually think about it this way, but the reality is that even when I buy these businesses, I will go into debt. If all three happen, I will be in debt. I will go from having almost zero debt currently to having right at $4.5 million in debt.
You're sitting over here talking like that's normal. That's okay. I'm sitting here like,
that's really casual, right?
It's so nonchalant about that. I'll just be like $4 million in debt, but sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here like, man, what the hell?
Yeah, but I mean, look at the money those companies generate, right? Like that's the thing. It's the debt numbers only scary if the company can't make that money. So when we look at so when I look at this, the glass company, right? So that's 1.7 million to buy it, another million on top of that to buy the real estate. So that's a 10-year loan on the business. That is roughly $25,000 a month, give or take. So that's that's three. Well, actually, with the real estate and the business, 10-year note on the business, and I think it's a 15 or 20-year note on the real estate. I think it comes out to right at $300,000 a year. The current cash flow of the business is about between 450 and 500. So if all I did was just if all I did was maintain the current level of operation, I still pocket $1 million, or I still pocket $150,000 at the end of the year.
And that's a really low risk investment because you're not doing a startup. You're buying an established business with debt financing. You're not even using your own money.
$5 million in contracts.
Worst case scenario is that the business collapses and you file bankruptcy in the business and you don't actually lose your own money.
Correct.
The business loses its money. So there's really very little risk for you.
Correct.
And I've done books for like hundreds, like reconcile books for hundreds of different businesses over the course of being an accountant. And what you're describing is completely normal for like that specific cycle. So yeah, I mean that's legit, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. And all of those businesses are like that. We're only looking at businesses that have a massive amount of positive cash flow, and they have to have existing contracts and an existing sales force, because otherwise, why would I do that? Right? Like, I don't want to build a business. The worst thing I think that most people can do is try to build a business.
Well, that and people get into businesses with a really low threshold for entry. You have to get into a business with a high barriers to entry Like that glass business, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a difficult like startup because there's probably a lot of capital that you have to get. Now that
Yeah, it's a nearly impossible startup.
yeah, but that concrete covering business is probably a lower threshold. That would probably be the riskiest one out of all the ones you described, from my perspective,
It
in
is.
terms of competition.
Yeah, it is. But the reason that we're buying that's a great point. The reason we're buying that business is, first of all, I don't need it. It doesn't add a lot to my portfolio other than it has a location and it's got a building rented. It's got office space. It has vehicles. It has assets that benefit if I want to expand into my hometown area from the other businesses. The other thing it has is it has like 500 5-star Google reviews. So what that means is that sure, any other business can come in and start up for $20,000 or $30,000 and try and undercut us, but most people that are going to spend 5, 6, 8 grand on their garage floor, or a restaurant that's going to do a new epoxy floor, or whatever stuff that we're going to do, the people are going to spend that money want that 5-star review. They want to know that when they spend this money, it's not going to be fucked up. It's not going to, 2 years, they're not going to be redoing it, and all of that, right? So that's a very solid point. That's the only and most attractive. There's two things that are most attractive about that business, and one is the guy who, one of the owners is an amazing sales guy, and he closes at about 57%. And so he's, they're knocking the work down. And the only reason they're selling the company is because it's a partnership, and one partner has checked out, leaving the other partner to do 90% of the work for half of the money. And so he can't buy the business. He can't buy his other partner out. So he's willing to stay on as long as I want him to. He just wants to be compensated fairly. And I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can talk about that make that business successful, but it's a relatively low risk business. And it's, God, I fucking hate saying this with Glenn present, but it's 500 grand, like if we lose it, we lose it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to stay in
500 grand. You could support my dreams come true right over here. If you just want to throw some 500 grand away, the fuck? It's just 500 grand my ass.
Yeah. Gas stations are good too. I like gas stations. The problem with gas stations is the licensing and the. I'm really staying away from things with a lot of regulation. Which is why I'm specifically sticking to the glass. There's almost no regulation, and what is just there, and then there's no regulation on concrete coating industry at all, like none, zero. We can hire anybody that shows talent for pouring it on concrete, and now the HVAC system, that's different. The HVAC and electrical, that's different. But that business already has a couple of master electricians and journeymen, and then they have the apprentices. So that I actually have, that's actually a really good thing. That's a good deal. Yeah. So, it's just, look, you have to think about this realistically. You have to think in big picture. Like I literally, when I talked to the guy today about the concrete business, I'm like, so if I want to be at 6.5 million in revenue in 5 years, what do I need to do to get there? What would that have looked like to be at that point? And, he came back with, well, you can't do it in this area. The most we're going to make is $2.5 million a year in this area. That's it. Like there's no more, you're not physically going to be able to do it in this area. So you have to expand, you have to push out, you have to go into different markets. And that kind of honesty when you're dealing with a seller is, first of all, it's really refreshing. But he had like it had never occurred to him to think that way. K2, keep on trucking, sends in $2 American. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Here are my investments into Grid One Show. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. But look, I mean, it's all the, look, money is how we keep score. And you need to be smart. You need to be smart with your labor. You need to be smart with your mental energy. You need to be, try to be better, the guys. I mean, any of you guys can do this. They like anybody in my chat right now, anybody listening to me right this minute, all 16 of you that have stuck around this long, every single one of you can do this. There's nothing I'm doing that's special at all. I'm not special. I'm not even a good human being. I am horribly flawed. And you can do this. You can absolutely do it. 100%. I'm like literally every one of you. There's something. You understand a business to the point where you can do something about it. Whether it's Chip and Flynn out there who went to truck driving school, now he's driving a truck. 5 years from now, he could own 5 trucks, be his own boss, making $500,000 a year. Right? I mean, I'm just telling you. I mean, this is how things happen. You decide every single day whether you're going to sit on your ass and drive a truck or punch a clock or whatever, or you're going to move forward. You're going to push. You're going to look for those opportunities. You're going to make the opportunities happen. You decide that. Nobody else decides that. Nobody holds you back but you. I promise you that. And honestly, like SBA, they want you to succeed. Right? Banks want you to succeed. It's more money from them. It's more money from them, for them, right? Nobody wants you to fail in business. Nobody. The banks don't want you to fail. I don't care what any leftist communist fuck has to say. There's no bank on the planet that wants you to fail.
Your competition does.
Well, fuck the competition. Those guys, and they probably need you to succeed too, because the more you succeed, the more they succeed too. Like it's not. I
agree with you. Fuck the competition. Get married to them and then own their business too.
That's not a bad plan. But what you do is you force them into another area of the business, right? So like if you're doing concrete garages, you make them do swimming pools, and then after 5 or 6 years, you get bigger than they are, and then you go by and you say, hey man, you need to just sell me. Just go ahead and sell me this, man. It's what's up, So, but anybody can do it, man. Every single guy can do it. Even every woman can do it. Arthur Daya can do it. Arthur Daya can 100%. She has some knowledge of something where she could start her own business. Insurance.
Hopefully it's cooking.
Hopefully it's not cooking. Are we not men? Says insurance. Hey, insurance is a great business. If you can get through your first couple of years and you build that client list, then you're kind of off to the races. Yeah. The government wants to keep you broke, but you just got to say fuck those guys and pay them their dole and move on with life. But yeah, the bank wants you to be successful so they can collect that interest, baby. They need it. It's how they make their money. I can't right now. I'm on my revenge art grid. I'm working on something. All right, man. I got you, bro. You can be on your revenge arc. Motherfucker. You reading Anson Knowles' vampire manga? Is that what you're doing? Your revenge arc? Made bad decisions and shitty investments, ultimately failed and fell flat on my ass. Hey, that happens to us all, man. I failed a lot. I did. Anson, I'm sorry I'm keeping you up, brother. You're welcome to dive down, man. I see you passing out up there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just I'm starting to crash. It's been good. And Arthur Dye, if you want to slide into my DM, you know where it is. You've been flirting with me all night, so you go on and get in my DM.
Get up
And
in
I'll-
them DMs.
Better leave that redhead alone.
Yeah, y'all have a good night. All right.
Yeah,
See you
Anson,
later,
you have a great
Jimmy.
night too. Arthur Dye says that she needs a passive income business so she can relax in the kitchen cooking Anson some pot roast. Absolutely. So, for people that are looking for passive investments, you need to look into like investment funds, management companies, things like that. Like, it was interesting, Glenn. Have you ever heard of BlackRock?
Yeah.
All right. So my wife was talking to a guy from BlackRock today. They used to work together. He went to BlackRock. She went somewhere else. And he's actually exiting BlackRock right now because he was managing a private equity fund that they're cashing out. They're dissolving the fund because they feel like they've gotten all the profit they're going to get out of it. They're dissolving the fund, paying everybody their money. And he's effectively either going to have to roll back into basically he's going to have to, he is a supervisor-ish kind of guy now. He would have to roll back in and be directly under somebody again. And he has to decide whether he wants to do that or he wants to go out on his own. And right now he's like, I want to go out on my own. And so we're, my wife's talking to him about some of the stuff we have going on and the real estate fund that we have. And he's like, oh, great. Can I invest in it? Like just right out of the gate. And because he wants to diversify. And the way that our fund works is we're doing the best we can to double our money on each investment so that, every time we put out 75 grand, when we sell the house, we get, we get 150 grand out of that. Right. So a profit. Right. So like, and for the most part, the houses we're buying will go up that much. So that's just kind of how we're doing it. But there's lots of things like there's I don't like the stock market per se, but you can buy into various investment funds and management funds, that sort of thing, and that keeps you there. So. Bankruptcy saves you, I think. I went to flat broke and homeless. Damn, smoking space, man. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Yeah. So Trump actually never went back. I love this because this is great, man. So Trump, do you know the story of Trump's, Glenn, do you know the story of Trump's bankruptcies?
I thought you were talking about how his money. Like I was like, yeah, his dad gave him $1 million loan, which was really a drop in the bucket for what he was doing. But he didn't. Did he file Chapter 7 or 13?
Well, he filed bankruptcy several times. The two that most people talk about was a development down in Florida, and basically he had a bunch of partners. The real estate value had had dropped in Florida. And the project was taking too long, so his investors were getting cold feet. They wanted out. They wanted to bail, and basically they didn't want to put in any more money. They wanted Trump to put in the rest of the money, and they were going to end up profiting. Basically, they're trying to fuck him. And Trump said, I did hear this.
I did hear this. Yeah.
Yeah. Trump said, fuck you. And he did it. He did a BK when they restructured. All of the guys who were trying to fuck him got squeezed out of the project. Trump brought in some new investors, reinvested himself, completed the project, made a shit ton of money.
Oh, he flipped it?
Yeah, he flipped the script on him completely, both times. And the other one was, I believe, in Atlantic City. Same deal.
Yeah, because it was about the casino, right? It was something like casino.
I believe it was a hotel, and I don't believe it.
Or hotel.
I don't believe it's one that Trump owns. I think that it was his construction company was building it. And
weren't
Trump
they like trying to kick
desperate.
out like the people that lived in apartments nearby or something like that? And they're all
Yeah,
like,
whatever it
about
was. I believe it was. I could be wrong. It could have still been Florida, but I believe it was. It was somewhere
It
on
was
the.
Atlantic City. I remember that.
Yeah, and again, it was the same exact thing. Trump, he's invested. He's got, these other guys are, they're supposed to be the major investors. They do the same thing. They try and fuck Trump. They try and because Trump, they know he has the money to finish the project. He doesn't get paid unless the project's finished. So basically, they're withholding their funding, saying that, well, we ain't got any money, or hey, we're over cost. We don't have, we're going to have to refinance. We're going to do all this stuff, and we're going to dilute how much money
You're not going to fuck Trump. You're not going to fuck the guy that says grab a woman by the pussy. Okay,
right? And Trump did the same exact thing. He declared bankruptcy on the project. He squeezed all of the guys out, brought in new investors to buy up their shit, buy them out, make them give them 10 cents on their dollar or whatever. And and then he fucked them. He fucked them hardcore. Both times that both of the two famous cases that everybody says, well, Trump went bankrupt on this massive ass project. That is absolutely true. Does that hotel exist? Can you go to it? Can you check in today? You can? Okay, then why does it matter he declared bankruptcy?
Yeah, he still made money.
Fucked them hardcore. The number one thing that you have to remember about Trump is don't try and fuck him because he will fuck you harder. Number one thing. I've said that for 20 years. Long before he decided to run for president.
You know what? I'm telling you right now, you're trying to challenge me to fuck Trump like this. You want to have a fuck off with Trump, man? Like, this is crazy. It sounds gay.
First of all, it does sound gay, but I'm talking about strictly in a business sense. If you try and screw him over on a deal, he is going to destroy you. Just the way it is. It's who he is.
That's why
Mr. Mister's from that area. President. Mr. Mister, what was the hotel that Trump was involved in? Because it's not the one that he owns wholly. Like he owns the whole thing. It's like Trump Plaza or Trump I forget what it is. There's one that he owns and it's next to the casino's built into or whatever it is. And then there's another one that Trump was involved in that he built it. His construction company built it. And I think he owned a majority of it. I think he since sold it, right? Because it makes sense sometimes to do that. But I don't remember. I'm not going to look it up. I'm too fucking lazy to Google. I also think it's bullshit when people just start Googling shit everywhere.
Why?
But yeah, I mean, I think, Trump did use bankrupt. So I consider those tactical bankruptcies, right? Usually when someone's trying to screw you or the government's trying to screw you and you can take that, maybe it's the one in the Marina District. Maybe that's what it is. Because it's not the one that everyone thinks of. That's the casino. Yeah. Trump's someone to play with, man. And I've known that long before he ran for president. Like this is just something that people should just know. He was literally the guy who on camera said, "Yeah, you pay." You pay the bounty the trash guys want. You pay. He's the guy that Rodney Dangerfield's character in Caddyshack was based off of. Where you got to pay. It wasn't Caddyshack. It was another movie, but it was you got to pay. You don't know anything about finance because you got to pay the trash company to pick up. You got to pay the construction company. You got to pay the board or whatever.
That's not even. You don't need to go through all that. Anybody that has the balls to say, "Yeah, you grab the by the pussy," you don't fuck him.
You don't fuck that guy.
He's gonna fuck you.
Yeah.
That's
You didn't know that, Arthur Diet. Yeah. So it's. I consider Trump's bankruptcies to have been tactical bankruptcies because he came out better than he went in each time. It's just bankruptcy is just a tool, just like anything else. So, yeah. Henry Ford went bankrupt like 3 times, I think, 2 or 3 times. So, anyway,
Yeah, Henry Ford, like, but his, I'm trying to remember what his bankruptcy was around. It wasn't around the Ford though. It was
No,
before
it was
the
like
Ford.
tractor parts or some stupid
Yeah,
stuff before
yeah.
he decided to make cars. When he decided to make cars, so he didn't even want to make cars. Like Henry Ford was like, "This is dumb. I don't want to make cars." But that's what would sell. That's what he could sell.
Well, yeah. You're right. I was trying to think about something, but no, you're right.
Yeah. That all right. So Smoking Spaceman says, yeah, that's what he meant when he said bankruptcy saves you. Yeah, I mean, if you can use a bankruptcy to get rid of partners you don't want, you can get, or if someone is trying to hold you hostage in a project, that's why I rarely ever take on partners, like pretty much never, because I've had people that you would never think would screw me hard or try and screw me hardcore. They also got fucked. So fuck those guys. Yeah, K2, that's true. Ford also had an airplane business that contracted with the mail. That's true. The Ford Trimotor. And he also made biplanes. He did a bunch of other stuff. He had his own ships of the Great Lakes. That's true. It's small freighters, right? That's true. They were mid-sized freighters. Iron ore. That's correct. Ford. Ford actually is. Why Kingsford charcoal is named Kingsford? Because it came from the Ford plant. That's where
Really?
charcoal. That's where charcoal originally came from.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was from the Ford plant. They had all of that wood there to build the chassis and creating parts and stuff, and so they would burn it and sell it as charcoal.
I didn't even know that. Why do you know all this weird stuff, Grid? Why do you know this weird stuff?
There's a lot of shit rattling around up there, dude.
I mean, I know some like weird shit too, but we won't talk about the weird shit. I know. This is the Continental. All right, we don't conduct business here.
That's right. That's right. We're about to head over somewhere and beat some people up though.
Who are we beating up? Who are we going to war with?
I think I'm going to go over to V. I mean,
oh no, yeah, you go have fun.
I'm going to go over to VK and have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, you do that.
I know, but if there was somebody else debating tonight where I could just jump in on a panel.
Floyd is talking about illegal immigrant.
Yeah, I think Flo's drunk. So
is he really? I'm gonna have to watch this now.
I don't know. Yeah, Smoking Spaceman says, yeah, the charcoal was a byproduct from production. Yeah, absolutely. And that's and they had to get rid of the stuff, and a guy was hauling it off, and they were burning it, and it was, the guy started using it for his barbecue, and then that's where they started literally boxing it up to use as heat in homes instead of coal, and to grill food on. And that's where charcoal came from.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Started an entire industry and a lot of yummy food.
Barbecue.
Correct.
Yep. Well, I got to go take a shit. So,
did not need to know. You could have just said,
I'm about to plug up my, never mind. Anyways, and then I got to try to get to the gym before they close, since I've been on here way too much longer than I expected.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm going to chat with the chat for a little while. Then I'm going to go beat up on people for a little while.
Yep. Go get your aggression out. I'm going to go have an abortion right now.
Just fun.
Yeah. So, all right. Talk to you later, buddy.
Yeah. See you, man.
Peace.
All right. Man in the arena, the credit goes to the one who is out there hustling and trying. That's true. U.S. Steel, yes, absolutely. U.S. Steel used to have, all right. So literally every the reason everyone was in Detroit, the reason everybody was in Michigan was because of the Great Lakes, because they could easily ship steel from Pennsylvania, New York, and all of those foundries around to the Great Lakes, and it didn't have to go overland, and it just worked out. It was where they need that. So that's what it is. Gym is closed, Glenn. That's he's already left. Yeah. All the Great Lakes had fleets. New York Harbor was actually a harbor, and they did a lot of business there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I have beat this up a lot. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. I like that, Arthur Diet. That's actually great. It's a good sentiment to end the show on. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great show. Obviously, the count was down tonight. I'm not really sure what's going on out in the world. That we didn't have the numbers that we normally see, but that's okay. There's another show tomorrow night, and it will be just as good. Tomorrow night will be a chill stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't. We'll see how that works out, where we go with that. In the meantime, everyone, be cool, wear glasses if you need them, and get off my lawn.
Yeah, I just answered your question. Can you tell me what epistemology means?
Epistemology is the study of the epistles. I mean, you can. I told me that a husband and wife is supposed to be the representation of God and the church. He said he's a husband. I asked him if he sees himself as the embodiment of God, and he said no. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, what is the epistles?
The epistles are the apostles. Are you talking about the apostles?